Chapter 221. The consequence of dirty hands. I don't believe you. Tang Yun curled her lips. Aren't you helping your brother chase girls? Both, I guess. Lin Yi didn't deny it. Tang Yin humphed and didn't say anything. Her relationship with Lin Yi was getting more and more complicated, and couldn't be severed. Just thinking about it gave her a headache, and the best thing to do was to not think about it. It didn't take long before Fun was sent to the room by Director Ma. Lin Yi smiled inwardly. This Director Ma must have thought that he had a close relationship with Xuemin. After settling Fun down, Director Ma left, and the room returned to silence. Zhou Tiandi, Guangdong, and the others who were at the door had already left as well. Boss, what's with that Zhou? He left just like that. Didn't he tell us to wait? Kong Xiaobo was curious about Zhou Tiandi's departure. He went to find someone, right? Lin Yi, naturally, didn't think that Zhou Tiandi would let it go just like that. Maybe someone will come looking for trouble, and he's afraid of alerting the police, so he left first. Kong Xiaobo nodded, but before he could say anything, a commotion came from the hallway. The door was kicked open with a bang, and a yellow-haired man rushed in with 4 to 5 thugs. All the men in the room, come out. The yellow-haired man was just about to call all the men out when his eyes landed on Tang Yun. He didn't think that there would be such a beautiful woman in the room. The yellow-haired man was a pervert, and he was here to teach them a lesson. But after seeing Tang Yun, he changed his mind. He gave his lackey a look. As the leader, he couldn't say what he thought aloud. That would make him seem like a bad person. The lackey was the yellow-haired man's confidant, and he knew what the yellow-haired man wanted. He pointed at Tang Yun. You come out too. Tang Yun paused for a second and realized that the yellow-haired man had taken a liking to her and wanted to do something to her. She looked at Lin Yi in panic, only to see him standing there leisurely as if nothing had happened. Tang Yin calmed down as she felt annoyed. With Lin Yi there, she wouldn't be at a disadvantage, would she? Although she was a little conflicted that Lin Yi treated her so well, she hoped that Lin Yi would protect her in this situation. Tang Yun didn't know what she was thinking, but it was weird. The blonde nodded silently at his underling's actions. Since his underling had made it clear, he didn't need to hold back anymore. He reached out to hug Tang Yun, wanting to drag her out of the room. Tang Yun jumped in fright and tried to dodge, but she bumped into someone. She glanced sideways and saw that it was Lin Yi. She was about to ask what he was doing when Lin Yi grabbed the blondie's outstretched hand. Your hand is dirty, Lin Yi smiled faintly and looked at the blondie. I haven't hugged her yet and you want to? Tang Yun's face reddened at Lin Yi's shameless words. She glared at him. What do you mean you haven't hugged her yet? Kid, since you haven't hugged her, then she has nothing to do with you. Are you trying to stand up for her? The blondie's face turned cold as he tried to pull his hand away, but he didn't. I don't have a pattern to my moves, so it's not about standing up for her. I just think that your hand is too dirty. With that, Lin Yi exerted strength, and with a crack, the yellow-haired man let out a heart-wrenching howl. Ouch! My hand! My hand! The blondie felt a piercing pain in his hand. He almost cried. I just gave you a small warning, and you're like this. Why are you so soft? Let me ask you, were you sent by that Zhou Tiandi? Lin Yi didn't think that the blondie would start crying after his hand was dislocated. Ouch! My hand! The blondie didn't answer Lin Yi's question. He was still wailing. Lin Yi didn't know what else to do. He helplessly exerted more force, and another crack sounded. Alright, stop screaming, it's connected. Answer me now. The 4 lackeys that the blondie brought with him were dumbfounded. Who was this guy? Was he doing acrobatics? He dislocated the blondie's hand and then connected it again. They wanted to go up, but they hesitated. After all, the blondie didn't say anything, and they had to worry about his safety. Go together, kill this kid. The blondie's hand was connected, and the pain was alleviated a bit. Crack. Another crack sounded, and Lin Yi dislocated the blondie's hand again. Ouch. The blondie cried out in pain, but this time Lin Yi used more force than before. Not only was his hand dislocated, but it was also bent at an unbelievable angle. The blondie shouted twice before his eyes rolled back into his head, and he fainted on the ground. I shouldn't have connected it for you, you're too despicable. Lin Yi didn't bother asking him anymore. He turned to the lackeys who were walking over, hesitating. You guys, is there anyone with despicable hands? The four of them looked at the blondie's deformed palm. What kind of psycho was this? How could he be so cruel? No. The lackeys didn't want to end up like the blondie, and they shook their heads subconsciously. Oh, then it's you. Lin Yi pointed at the lackey who asked Tang Yun to go out with him. Tell me, did Mr. Zhou send you guys? The lackey was the blondie's confidant. He couldn't betray the blondie. Looking at the blondie on the ground, the lackey's heart was filled with hatred. He pulled out a dagger and charged at Lin Yi. I'll kill you. But, just as he was about to get close to Lin Yi, the lackey suddenly changed directions and stabbed the dagger at Tang Yun. Tang Yun jumped and screamed. She wanted to dodge, but it was too late. Just as the dagger was about to reach Tang Yun, her body mysteriously tilted and fell towards the blondie, and the dagger stabbed into the blondie's bent hand. The yellow-haired man had already fainted from the pain, but when he was stabbed by his subordinate, he woke up with a cry of pain. Seeing his trusted subordinate stabbing him with a dagger, the yellow-haired man immediately exploded in anger. His subordinate actually betrayed him. What the fuck do you want to do? The blondie didn't know where he got his courage from, but he used his left hand to pull out the injured dagger and pointed it at his confidant. You're stabbing me in the back. Chapter 222. He's really scared. After listening to his confidant's explanation, the yellow-haired man believed his words. This confidant had been with him for many years. It was possible for the others to betray him, but this confidant definitely wouldn't. The blonde's face turned ugly. No matter how stupid he was, he knew that the man in front of him was a legendary master. The blonde wasn't a master, but he'd heard of the legendary Sky, Earth, Mystic, and Huang masters in the underworld. They were people who could jump on roofs and vault over walls, and seal acupuncture points from afar. He didn't know if Lin Yi was one of those masters, but judging from Lin Yi's nimble bone setting and bone-removing skills, he was definitely not a simple person. Listening to his confidant's words, it was more or less the same as the legendary acupuncture point sealing. Although he didn't think that Lin Yi was that strong, he knew that he wasn't Lin Yi's opponent with his current skills. Even if this kid wasn't a golden class master, he was at least half a golden class. The blonde wanted to retreat at the thought of that. Wow, your right hand is so scary, why don't you use your left hand this time? Since you're awake, then continue answering my questions. Lin Yi said as he squatted down and pulled the blonde's left hand, ready to continue the bone removal. Don't. Big bro, I'll tell you what you want to know. The blonde was really scared as he looked at Lin Yi and begged. Oh, then let me ask you, were you sent by that Zhou something? Lin Yi asked. Yes. The blonde's answer was simple. Alright, go back and tell that Zhou something that I'll go find him. Lin Yi said. Okay, big bro, I'll tell him. The blonde quickly said. Crack. Another crisp sound. Lin Yi let go of the blonde's left hand, but it was already dislocated. Ouch. Big brother, I've already said it, why are you still? Huang Mao jumped up from the ground in pain and looked at Lin Yi with some resentment. I look too kind. I'm afraid that you won't know that I'm a ruthless person and will come to the hospital next time. Lin Yi looked at the yellow-haired man with a smile without any sympathy. Blondie was about to cry. Big brother, I know you are a ruthless person. Don't worry, I won't come again. How could the Blondie not understand what Lin Yi meant? Lin Yi had warned him not to cause trouble in the hospital in the future, but did he still dare to come? Although the yellow-haired man was in the underworld, he wasn't a fool. The yellow-haired man was obviously stronger than him. If he went to the door to be beaten, wouldn't that be stupid? All right then, you can go. I won't send you off. Lin Yi waved his hand, indicating that the yellow-haired man could get lost. Chief Ma had arrived a long time ago. He stood at the door and didn't dare to come in. He heard a nurse say that there was a fight in this ward, so he hurriedly ran over to see what was going on. But with one look, he finally understood why Lin Yi asked him to find a few surgeons. These guys who came out really had to go see a surgeon. Lin Yi was very good at reading people. He saw real fear in the eyes of the yellow-haired man, and not the kind of fake submission that was fake. If some people submitted, then they really submitted. But some people only submitted on the surface, but in their hearts, they thought that a gentleman's revenge was never too late. If this yellow-haired man didn't really submit, but wanted to take revenge afterwards, then Lin Yi didn't mind making him disappear from the face of the earth. Lin Yi was famous for being protective of his subordinates when he was in the team. If anyone wanted to touch someone in the team, then he would touch their whole family first. After returning to the bustling city, he didn't have any teammates, but he had a lot of friends by his side. These friends were the same as his former teammates, and they were also Lin Yi's reverse scale. Tang Yun was so scared that she covered her mouth. Even a tough girl like Lu Xinwen couldn't help but widen her eyes in shock. Song Huiping even covered Xiaofen's eyes. Because Lin Yi was simply too cruel. Although he was dealing with a group of evil people, such means still made people shudder. Only Kong Xiaobo's eyes were filled with excitement. He had already fought with Lin Yi on the rooftop, and most men only had impulsive hot-bloodedness when it came to fighting. They didn't have fear or terror. This kind of people only needs to be taught a deep lesson. If it wasn't like this, they would still come looking for trouble. Lin Yi saw everyone's expression and shrugged his shoulders in embarrassment. Boss, you're so cool. Can you teach me that move just now? Gotcha, that person's hand would be crippled. Kong Xiaobo was a little envious. I can teach you, but who should I use as a demonstration? Lin Yi smiled as he looked at Kong Xiaobo. Forget it then. Kong Xiaobo weakly retracted his hand and shook his head. The originally tense atmosphere in the ward was instantly relaxed by Lin Yi and Kong Xiaobo's humorous conversation. Even Song Huiping laughed along. Xiaofen might have seen a lot of life and death situations, but she wasn't afraid of what happened before. She also laughed when she heard Kong Xiaobo's words. In the afternoon, Mrs. Tang was going to the food street to open a stall, and Tang Yun naturally had to help her mother. Xiaofen was fine, so Tang Yun prepared to leave. After Tang Yun left, Lin Yi didn't have any reason to stay, so he left with Tang Yun. Leaving Kong Xiaobo and Lu Xinwen here to take care of Xiaofen, Kong Xiaobo had already confirmed his feelings. The 18-year-old Kong Xiaobo was impulsive and passionate. Although Xiaofen had all kinds of flaws, the stubborn Kong Xiaobo had already ignored them. Although Lin Yi was a little more rational than Kong Xiaobo, he wasn't that much rational. Lin Yi enjoyed the beautiful school life, but the days of living on the edge of a knife were getting further and further away from Lin Yi. Lin Yi smiled as he looked at Tang Yun, who was sitting in the front passenger seat with her head down. Tang Yun was still acting like a punching bag, as if he was bullying her every single day. The car drove into the shantytown, and Lin Yi parked the car at the place yesterday. The shantytown had returned to its usual noisy and leisurely state. The elderly were chatting with their neighbors in front of their houses, and the kids were running around. When they saw Lin Yi's car, they all curiously gathered around to see what was going on. The trauma of Xiaofen jumping off the building yesterday had disappeared, and the 3 sections building had returned to its usual peace. Send you back. Lin Yi frowned as he saw Li Erlin walking over leisurely. Tang Yun hesitated for a moment, but still nodded. Compared to Li Erlin and Zhou Ruoming, who were unreasonable people, she would rather deal with Lin Yi. Chapter 223. House Zhou and Tang Yun. Li Erlin clearly saw Lin Yi in Tang Yun as well. He paused, but didn't stop. He walked past Lin Yi and Tang Yun without saying a word. He had more important things to do today. Master Bing had come to Songshan, and he needed to gather his brothers to join Master Bing's side. As for Tang Yun and Lin Yi, he didn't want to dwell on it right now. He hated Lin Yi to the core, but Erlin firmly believed that as long as he had Master Bing's support, dealing with Lin Yi would be a piece of cake. Tang Yun would become his plaything sooner or later. He looked back at Lin Yi with hatred and quickened his footsteps. He knew why Master Bing wanted to recruit him at a time like this. He was hesitant before, since he was a member of the slums and grew up there. It didn't make sense for him to help Master Bing deal with the slums. Lin Yi's appearance, however, strengthened Erlin's confidence. Lin Yi, naturally, didn't know what Erlin was thinking. He was confused when he saw Erlin walking past without saying a word. He's not harassing you anymore. Tang Yun shook her head, confused. She wasn't answering Lin Yi's question, but she didn't know what was up with Erlin today. Lin Yi didn't go in after sending Tang Yun to her house. I'm leaving. Yeah. Tang Yun was a little annoyed. Why did he have to talk to her? Did he want her to invite him to my house? Wasn't he just asking her to say that? It'd be rude if she didn't invite him. Tang Yun sighed helplessly. Do you want to come in for a bit? No need, I'll go back straight away. Lin Yi smiled. Oh. Tang Yun was even more annoyed. She'd already lowered herself to invite him, and he still wouldn't come in. She turned around, ignoring Lin Yi as she ran back to her house. It was Monday, and Pin Liang couldn't wait to ask Zhou Ruoming out as soon as he got to school. Liangzi, what's the matter? Ruoming wasn't in a good mood. Yesterday's events pissed him off. It affected his entire plan. His original plan was to kidnap Tang Yun and force himself on her, just as Pin Liang had said. Originally, he had already talked to his elder brother, Zhou Ruoguang, and asked him to bring people to help. However, when he returned home last night, he tragically found that his elder brother had been beaten up. Both of his hands were crippled, and it would take a long time for him to recover. He had no choice but to postpone his plan. The situation was like this. Zhou Ruoming came home to see his father, Zhou Tiandi, sitting there with a pissed-off look on his face. Dad, what's wrong with you? Zhou Ruoming wondered why his father had such an expression as if he had been robbed of his money. Tiandi wasn't robbed of his money, he was robbed of his hospital room. In Songshan, although he wasn't the kind of person who could shake the world with a stomp of his foot, he still had some face. He had a lot of connections, but his hospital room was robbed by a bunch of random country bumpkins. If word got out, wouldn't he become a laughing stock? How was he going to survive in Songshan's upper-class society? And so, Tiandi told Guangdong to call his eldest son, the head of the North District's gangsters, Zhou Ruoguang. He told him to bring some men to the hospital and get back at them. If he didn't teach those country bumpkins a good lesson, he wouldn't be able to take this lying down. However, just as he was waiting for his son's good news at home, he received bad news. His son was injured by someone in the hospital room, and although he didn't know the details, his son was already on his way home. Zhou Ruoguang had suffered a huge loss. Ever since Tiandi opened a karaoke bar, he hadn't suffered a loss like this in a long time. Especially after he helped his eldest son, Zhou Ruoguang, become the head of the North District, Tiandi became even more successful in the underworld. Don't ask so many questions. Go back to your room and do your homework. We, the Zhous, are counting on a genius like you to help us manage the company. Tiandi glared at Ruoming as he reprimanded him. What? Tiandi had high hopes for his youngest son, Zhou Ruoming. Both he and Zhou Ruoguang were rough people, and both of them had been in the underworld for a long time. They didn't have the time to learn anything, but both of them hoped that Zhou Ruoming would be successful. The bigger Tiandi's karaoke bar got, the more he realized the importance of managing people. He could hire people with money, but it was never as easy as hiring his own family. He hoped that Zhou Ruoming would study hard, study business management, and come back to help him expand his business. Zhou Ruoming, on the other hand, was acting like a good boy at home, listening to everything Tiandi said. But Tiandi didn't know that his eldest son spoiled his little brother so much that not only did he help him do bad things, but he also hid it from Tiandi. Oh. Zhou Ruoming answered obediently and went back to his room. He didn't read after closing the door, but put his ear to the door, waiting for his brother to come back and listen to what they had to say. It wasn't long before Zhou Ruoguang came back. Through the gap in the door, Zhou Ruoming was shocked to see that his brother's hands were wrapped in bandages. Ruoguang, you. Tiandi had been in the underworld for a long time, and didn't really care about fights and injuries, but ever since Zhou Ruoguang took control of the North District and became the leader of the North District, things like this almost never happened again. Dad, that guy's a master, I can't beat him. Zhou Ruoguang was scared of Lin Yi to the bone, so he didn't hide it. None of my men are a match for him. I'm guessing that even if he's not golden class yet, he's close. He might even know how to use pressure points. What? That's strong. That's impossible, right? Those two brats can't be more than 20 years old, how could they be masters? Tiandi paused, not believing it. Dad, to be honest, I don't believe it either, but he is indeed very powerful. Let's forget about this matter. We don't have any deep hatred with him. Zhou Ruoguang was a little scared as he said this. Fuck, you useless thing. Tiandi humphed coldly. Why are you so cowardly? You're not even as brave as that useless brother of yours, messing with girls in middle school. Look at you. I made the wrong decision back then, I should have let you study and let Ruoming join the underworld. Zhou Ruoguang lowered his head, not daring to look at his father. Chapter 224. Strange behavior, Dad, let Uncle Yen do it then. I don't have the guts to go. Zhou Ruoguang said softly, truly afraid of Lin Yi. Tiandi was right, he wasn't as brave as Zhou Ruoming. You piece of trash. My relationship with old Yen is nothing more than a benefit, I've helped him before, and he's doing things for me. Every time he does something for me, it's one less favor I owe him. You're making a mountain out of a molehill, aren't you? Tiandi was a little disappointed at his son's cowardice. If it's a small matter, then let's just forget about it. Zhou Ruoguang said weakly. Alright, it's none of your business. Scram. Tiandi waved his hand angrily. This son of his didn't have any of his aggressiveness back in the day, he was a coward. Zhou Ruoguang turned back to his room as if he'd been pardoned, leaving the furious Tiandi behind. Zhou Ruoming heard the conversation outside the room, he saw the injury on his brother's hand, and was quite troubled. It seemed like he'd have to postpone his plan. How was his brother supposed to help him catch the person in this state? Zhou Ruoming wouldn't feel at ease if his brother didn't do it himself, and so he was still depressed all the way to school on Monday morning. Pin Liang called him out, reminding him of the plan. Ming bro, how's the plan I told you about? Pin Liang took out a pack of cigarettes and handed one to Zhou Ruoming. Don't mention it. Zhou Ruoming waved his hand, troubled. Something happened to my brother, and he can't help me with this. I'm really troubled right now, I guess I'll have to postpone it. Pin Liang was overjoyed at Zhou Ruoming's words. He'd wanted Heibao bro to help Zhou Ruoming catch the person, and then lure Lin Yi over so Heibao could kill Lin Yi. If Zhou Ruoming's men were here, brother Heibao wouldn't be able to make a move. However, he couldn't bring it up directly. If he suddenly told Zhou Ruoming that he would help him find people to capture Tang Yun, then Zhou Ruoming would definitely be suspicious. Ming bro, you can't drag this out. What if that Lin Yi guy gets it first? You'll be in big trouble. Pin Liang said, starting to give Zhou Ruoming a hard time. That's true. Damn it, but I can't do it myself. Zhou Ruoming was in a dilemma. Liangzi, do you have any suitable people on hand? Me? Brother Ming, are you asking me to help you kidnap someone? If my dad finds out, he'll beat me to death. Pin Liang said, pretending to be troubled. You know about Heibao bro. Zhou Ruoming nodded, naturally aware of Heibao bro's situation. Pin Liang must have gotten a lot of scolding back home, but he could only ask for help now. Liangzi, you have a grudge with that Lin Yi guy too, right? Why don't you help me this time? That Lin Yi guy sent Heibao bro to prison, that's why you got scolded. He's your enemy too. That's true. Pin Liang nodded in agreement. Alright, Ming bro, I'll help you this time. That's what you call a brother. Zhou Ruoming was overjoyed as he patted Pin Liang's shoulder. When can we move? Tonight at the earliest, right? I'll call someone in a bit. Pin Liang said. But, Ming bro, do you have a place to do something? Yeah, there's an abandoned building in the North District. There's usually no one there, and it's a gathering spot for my brother and his brothers. Zhou Ruoming said. It's on Safflower Road in the North District. Oh, I know that place. Pin Liang nodded. Ming bro, wait for my good news. Brother, I'll remember this. We're brothers from now on, no questions asked. Zhou Ruoming patted Pin Liang's shoulder happily. Of course, of course. Pin Liang replied before walking towards the school gate, cursing inwardly. Why did he have to thank him for being used as a pawn? On the street behind the school, Pin Liang found a phone booth with an IC card and called the number Heibao bro had given him. He told Heibao about his plan for the next day, and Heibao bro agreed without hesitation. As long as he could get Lin Yi over, anything was fine. It was just kidnapping someone, and it wasn't like Heibao bro hadn't done it before. In fact, he did it so often that it was a walk in the park. Pin Liang's lips curled into a vicious smile after giving the order to Heibao bro, Lin Yi, who asked you to fight with me. I'm not only going to make your girl get played, I'm going to make you watch your girlfriend get played to death, and you get played to death as well, but now he had to think about how he was going to get Lin Yi to that abandoned building. He couldn't just run to Lin Yi and tell him to go to the building, could he? Whether or not Lin Yi would believe him, and even if he did, he couldn't just tell him out of the blue. What if Lin Yi thought he was the one behind it and beat him up first? Pin Liang frowned as he walked into the classroom. He couldn't think of a suitable plan on the way, and when he reached the door, he saw a student from another class snitching on him to the dean, Wang Jifeng. Pin Liang's lips curled into a disdainful smile. He hated snitches like that the most. They had no technique at all, and they were just snitch. Pin Liang was suddenly enlightened, as if he was suddenly enlightened. He walked over and patted the snitch on the shoulder. Thank you so much, brother. Zhong Pin Liang, what are you doing? Jifeng frowned as he scolded. It's nothing, Mr. Wang, I admire a student like him for being brave enough to snitch. Pin Liang nodded to Wang Jifeng before quickly walking back to the classroom. Wang Jifeng was a little confused. What was wrong with Pin Liang? When did he start admiring students who liked to snitch on others? But Wang Jifeng didn't say anything. After all, Pin Liang didn't do anything out of line. Wang Jifeng didn't say anything because Pin Liang was his uncle, the director of the school. Lin Yi sat at the back of the classroom, bored out of his mind as he listened to Kong Xiaobo talk about fun. Lin Yi yawned when he saw Pin Liang walking towards him. Lin Yi paused. What was the kid doing here? Was he itching for a beating, looking for trouble? Zhang Naipeo and Gao Xiaofu weren't sitting here, so Pin Liang was definitely looking for Lin Yi. As expected, Pin Liang opened his mouth, but Pin Liang's attitude surprised Lin Yi. Lin Yi. Pin Liang greeted him with a smile, trying his best to make his smile look harmless and kind. Chapter 225. What trick, ha, Lin Yi, you sure know how to joke. Pin Liang said with a chuckle as he walked over, plopping down on the seat next to Lin Yi. What do you want? Just say it, if not scram. Lin Yi didn't want to talk to him at all, it was like the guy was having a stroke today. Lin Yi, don't be like that, we had some misunderstandings before, but it's not something that can't be resolved. Pin Liang's words stunned Lin Yi. Misunderstanding? Lin Yi looked at Pin Liang interested, what was up with this guy today? He was smiling like a god just now, and now he was telling him that it was a misunderstanding. Did he hear that right? Was he stupid, or did he have some ulterior motive? Misunderstanding? Pin Liang, you know better than me if it's a misunderstanding or not. Heibao's in there, how can it be resolved? Yang Ming said with a half-smile. Oh, right, I almost forgot, I think Heibao's out. You need to be careful, don't let him cause you trouble. Ha, Lin Yi, you're such a joke, what does Heibao bro have to do with me, haha. Pin Liang laughed dryly. Alright, if you have something to say then say it, I don't have time for bullshit. Lin Yi frowned. This guy was acting weird. Actually, I have something important to tell you. Pin Liang lowered his voice. It's very important, it concerns the people around you, what is it? Lin Yi was getting impatient, he didn't know what Pin Liang was trying to say, but there was no way Lin Yi was going to believe everything he'd said before, it was all bullshit. I can't tell you right now. How about this, I'll treat you to dinner tonight and tell you in detail. Pin Liang said. Of course, you don't have to come if you really don't want to know, I'm just being nice. Nice? Lin Yi wasn't an idiot. He could tell from Pin Liang's contradictory words that the kid was lying to him. But why was he tricking her? He wants to treat me to a meal. What could Pin Liang possibly have to do with the people around him? Good intentions. If you have good intentions, then say it now. Lin Yi said lightly. Lin Yi, you know, I'm under a lot of pressure to tell you about this. This matter is related to another person, and I'm telling you about this behind his back. I've been struggling a lot in my heart. Pin Liang said worriedly. He won't let me go if he finds out that I told you. Snitch. Lin Yi narrowed his eyes as he looked at Pin Liang, trying to read his expression, but Pin Liang's face was still as fearful as ever. Pin Liang had put in a lot of effort in order to put on a good show. He'd planned it outside the classroom for a long time before coming here. Naturally, he couldn't let Lin Yi see through his act so easily. But Lin Yi was sure that the kid had ulterior motives, and so there was a problem here. There was definitely a problem. I'll tell you the truth. That person wants to commit a crime against someone close to you. I know about this, and I'm afraid that I'll be dragged into this. You know, not reporting is considered covering up. I'm afraid that I'll be dragged into a lawsuit, so I came here to tell you about this. Pin Liang said softly. To tell you the truth, I almost got sued for Heibao Bro's incident last time. My old man spent a lot of effort to settle it, and I don't want anything to happen again. I'm graduating soon, and I still want to go to university and date Mengyao. I don't have time to go to prison for a vacation. Committing a crime against someone close to him. Lin Yi raised an eyebrow. Who was this someone he was referring to? Mengyao? It couldn't be. Pin Liang shouldn't know about his relationship with Mengyao. If that was the case, then it couldn't be Yushu. Then who could it be? Kong Xiaobo? Tang Yun? Alright, that's it for now. Class is about to start, so I'll be heading back first. You decide if you want to go or not. With that, Pin Liang stood up and prepared to leave. I'm very sincere, so don't blame me if something happens to you if you don't go. I'm the one who tipped you off. Mr. Lu walked in, and Pin Liang walked back to his seat. Lin Yi, however, stared at Pin Liang's back. This kid was trying to be nice for no reason, so he had to be hiding something. But his last sentence made Lin Yi suspicious. Lin Yi wasn't afraid of Pin Liang playing tricks on him, but Lin Yi would teach him a lesson if he were to play tricks on someone close to him. Lin Yi hesitated for a moment before sending Meng Yao a message. Pin Liang wants to treat me to dinner tonight. He said he has something important to tell me about someone close to me. Lin Yi looked at Meng Yao after sending the message. As expected, Meng Yao lowered her head and fiddled with her phone for a while. Lin Yi's phone vibrated twice, notifying him of a new message. He knows about our relationship. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. Lin Yi replied. Oh, then go see what he wants. Meng Yao replied. Since Meng Yao said so, Lin Yi went to see what Pin Liang was up to. After class, Pin Liang didn't come back to ask Lin Yi about his decision. Instead, he rushed out of the classroom. Lin Yi smiled faintly and followed him out. Kong Xiaobo followed closely behind. Boss, Pin Liang wanted to treat you to dinner. Kong Xiaobo was in front of Lin Yi, so naturally, he heard the gist of it. He was about to ask Lin Yi about it when Mr. Lu came in. Yeah, I don't know what he wants. He said he wants to tell me something important. It's related to someone close to me. Lin Yi said as he walked. You and Tang Yun are the only friends I have. I don't know who he's talking about. Someone close to you. Kong Xiaobo paused. Boss, Pin Liang went downstairs. Should we follow him? I'm not following him. Lin Yi said as he walked to the window in the hallway, looking out at the school field. He said that someone's trying to harm someone close to me, and he's here to give me the details. He's going to treat me to dinner tonight before he tells me the details. Harm the people around you. Xiaobo blinked, disdainful. Would he be that nice? If someone really wants to harm me or Tang Yun, he's most likely watching from the sidelines. Why would he tell me about it? Chapter 226. Boss Lin Yi - Boss, look, it's Zhong Pingliang and Zhou Ruoming. Kong Xiaobo pointed outside the window, towards the field. Yeah, I see them. Lin Yi's eyes narrowed as he looked at Zhong Pingliang and Kong Xiaobo, but he couldn't see what they were talking about because they were too far away. Zhong Pingliang was definitely up to something. Lin Yi didn't know when he started colluding with Zhou Ruoming, running out the moment class ended and talking to Lin Yi about something. Zhong Pingliang was talking to him about something highly secretive. Could it have something to do with Zhou Ruoming? Boss, since Zhong Pingliang said that, I don't think it's possible that he's targeting me, but Tang Yun. Kong Xiaobo wasn't stupid. He thought of Tang Yun after seeing Zhou Ruoming. Yeah, you go with Tang Yun tonight to visit Fun. I'll go see what Zhong Pingliang is up to. If anything happens, contact me. Don't separate from Tang Yun. Lin Yi ordered Kong Xiaobo after some thought. Don't worry, boss, I've already protected sis-in-law. Kong Xiaobo patted his chest. The bell rang, and Lin Yi and Kong Xiaobo went back to class. After a while, Zhong Pingliang rushed in, glancing at Lin Yi before returning to his seat. Zhong Pingliang didn't bother Lin Yi the entire morning, as if he'd forgotten about what he said in the morning. It wasn't until lunch break that Zhong Pingliang walked over. Lin Yi, what do you think? Have you made up your mind? Where are we going tonight? Lin Yi asked faintly. Since he'd decided to see what Zhong Pingliang was up to, Lin Yi didn't decline. Tonight at Liangbai Hotel. Pin Liang added. It's my family's business. The bright white hotel was named after Zhong Pingliang and Zhong Fabai, but Zhong Fabai was too creative. The hotel's name was too cool, it sounded like a toothpaste shop. Sure. Lin Yi nodded. But you'd better think carefully. Don't play any tricks. Otherwise, the consequences will be very serious. You can imagine it to your heart's content for the whole afternoon. You can imagine the 10 great punishments of the Qing dynasty. Ha, of course not. Qin Liang laughed dryly. Lin Yi, I'm doing this out of goodwill, don't take it for granted. I'm sincerely compromising with you. Lin Yi looked at Qin Liang, not sure what else he wanted to say. Lin Yi, I know there's a conflict between us, so let's not beat around the bush. Since you understand what's going on with Heibao bro, I won't say anything more. Qin Liang suddenly confessed. I hated you to the core because you kicked me. I wanted to teach you a lesson, but you hit me instead. That's why I wanted Heibao bro to teach you a lesson, to let you know the consequences of pissing me off. But you didn't just beat Heibao bro up, you sent him to jail. This shocked and terrified me. Qin Liang continued. I'm not an idiot. I hate you, but I know I'm no match for you. The people I find are no match for you, so I don't dare go against you. Just like 2 days ago, when you kicked me to the ground. Do you think I'd dare say anything? I don't dare, I don't even dare fart. Lin Yi didn't say anything, listening to Qin Liang's **t. He didn't believe him at all. The kid's eyes were wandering. It was obvious that he was **ting. But Lin Yi didn't expose him. He just watched as he continued his act. So, this time, since I know about it, I can't pretend that I don't know. What I said before was a little serious. In fact, I'm not afraid of being implicated. The police will come to me and accuse me of covering up. Qin Liang explained. From Heibao bro's incident, you can see my dad's power, right? Heibao bro took the blame, and even if the police suspect me, they have no evidence. So, in the same way, even if the police suspect that I didn't report it, they can only suspect me. They don't have evidence, so no one can do anything to me. Lin Yi nodded cooperatively, listening to him continue. I said that before because I wanted to save some face. I didn't want to lose face in front of you. But now, I'll just tell you the truth. I'm actually afraid of you. I'm afraid that you'll come after me and beat me up. I can't beat you. I'm really afraid of you. That's why I wanted to tell you, so that you wouldn't blame me. Qin Liang said. Alright, I'm being honest. You won't call me a coward, will you? It had to be said that Qin Liang's performance was spectacular, and his words sounded reasonable, but Lin Yi didn't believe him at all. There was no fear in Qin Liang's eyes at all. Instead, there was a glimmer of excitement. I see. Lin Yi nodded. I was wondering why you wanted to tell me all of a sudden. You're afraid of me. Alright, I'll go with you tonight. Alright, Lin Yi. From now on, I'll be your follower. If you need anything, just call me. I'll give you my position as the third of the big four. Qin Liang said. As long as you don't cause trouble for me, I'll do whatever you want me to do. Oh, I already have Kong Xiaobo as my follower. You don't need him for now. Lin Yi waved his hand, signaling Qin Liang to leave. Alright, boss Lin Yi. Qin Liang smiled flatteringly as he turned around. The smile on his face disappeared along with it, replaced with the smile of someone who'd succeeded in his scheme. Lin Yi, be happy all you want. I'll be your follower for a few hours, you're going to die soon enough. After Qin Liang left, Kong Xiaobo turned around. Boss, is what he said true? False. Lin Yi answered without hesitation. Do you think his brain got kicked by a donkey? Why would he come here to suck up to you? I think so too. Then there's a problem. Kong Xiaobo nodded. After school, Kong Xiaobo followed Lin Yi's instructions and ran out of the classroom to wait for Tang Yun. Lin Yi, on the other hand, was slowly packing his bag. Pin Liang had already packed it up and was waiting for Lin Yi with a smile on his face. "Help me carry it." Lin Yi handed the packed bag to Pin Liang without hesitation. Didn't this guy like to act like a follower? He'd let him. Pin Liang paused for a second before his smile returned. "Alright, boss Lin Yi. Lead the way." Lin Yi said faintly before giving Pin Liang a kick. "Be smart. You're so clumsy." Chapter 227. Chapter 227, waiting for news. What Pin Liang was going to do today was approved by Zhong Fabai, and so Zhong Fabai sent one of his men to drive an Audi and wait for him at the school gates. "Boss Lin Yi, please get in." Pin Liang opened the car door and gestured for the driver to get in. The driver of the Audi was acting weird. What was up with Master Zhong today? Why was he acting like a follower? Why was he opening the door for someone else? But Fabai had told him not to ask questions he shouldn't ask and to focus on driving, so the driver pretended like he didn't see anything. Lin Yi got in the car, and Pin Liang got in the passenger seat. "Master Zhong, where are we going?" the driver asked after Pin Liang was seated. "Liangbai Hotel." Pin Liang ordered. The driver nodded and started the car, speeding towards their destination. Lin Yi sat in the car, looking bored as he enjoyed the scenery, but in reality, he was watching Pin Liang and the driver's movements. The two didn't do anything out of the ordinary on the way. Liangbai Hotel had a vulgar name, but in reality, it was a very luxurious hotel. It was one of the best hotels in Songshan other than Pengzhan International Hotel. It was a 20-story skyscraper, with a fancy parking lot and flower bed in front of it. Lin Yi looked at the size of the restaurant and thought to himself that Pin Liang's family really was rich. "Lin Yi bro, this way please." Pin Liang didn't wait for the security guard to open the door and got out of the car first. He opened the door for Lin Yi and stood beside him respectfully. The security guard who came running over was shocked. They knew Pin Liang was Mr. Zhong's son, so why was the young master acting as someone else's follower today? "Chen bro, give me the car keys and you can go back. I'll drive later," Pin Liang said to the driver. The driver, naturally, gave the keys to Pin Liang without hesitation and left quickly with a nod. Lin Yi smiled to himself. It seemed like Pin Liang was going to do something behind someone else's back. He didn't trust this driver at all, so Lin Yi raised his guard. There was a waiter leading the way, but Pin Liang still extended his arm respectfully as he walked slowly in front of Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't pay attention to him. He knew that Pin Liang was just pretending, so he let him be. He wanted to see what this little bastard was up to. They arrived at a private room, and the waiter pushed the door open. "Master Zhong, this way please." "Fuck, do you know how to talk? This is Boss Lin Yi, even I have to call him boss. Are you blind?" Pin Liang glared at the waiter. Why was the waiter so blind? "Yes." The waiter said quickly. "Boss Lin Yi, this way please." Lin Yi nodded and didn't say anything. He entered the room, and Pin Liang closed the door with a fawning expression. Lin Yi sat down in front of the table and looked at Pin Liang. "Alright, spit it out if you have something to say." "Boss Lin Yi, the food will be here soon. Let's talk while we eat," Pin Liang said flatteringly. He had been waiting for Heibao Bro's text the whole time, but there was no news from Heibao Bro. He could only stall Lin Yi for now. "Do what you want." Lin Yi humphed coldly as he looked at Pin Liang's anxious face. He'd watch him continue acting. It wasn't long before the door was pushed open, and a waiter came in with a cart. Plates of delicacies filled the table, and Lin Yi couldn't help but click his tongue. This Zhong Pingliang was really willing to spend so much money, wasn't he? But Lin Yi didn't have any special requirements when it came to food. It was fine as long as he could eat his fill. Pin Liang was a little disappointed that Lin Yi didn't seem to be interested. As far as he was concerned, Lin Yi was a poor student. It was a rare opportunity for him to have a seafood feast like this. "Boss Lin Yi, why don't these dishes suit your taste?" Pin Liang asked, thinking that Lin Yi didn't like seafood. "It's fine. I'll just put up with it," Lin Yi said faintly. Pin Liang was so pissed he wanted to curse at Lin Yi. Put up with it. This table was at least tens of thousands, and he said put up with it. But Pin Liang thought about it. This was Lin Yi's last meal before he died, so he'd just treat it as a hongmen banquet. "Ha, if there's anything else you need, Lin Yi boss, just let me know. Do you want some red wine? Eating seafood and drinking red wine is great." "No need. I'll just have 2 bowls of rice." Lin Yi waved his hand and interrupted Pin Liang. "Wah." Pin Liang froze. He cursed at Lin Yi for wasting food. How could he eat such delicious seafood with rice? "Are you kidding me?" But Pin Liang still got a waiter and ordered 2 bowls of rice for Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't hold back after taking the rice. He started gobbling it up, and in the blink of an eye, a table full of delicacies and 2 bowls of rice went into Lin Yi's stomach. "It's all right. It's not as good as braised pork." Lin Yi patted his belly and burped. Pin Liang almost rolled his eyes. He should have just treated this poor bastard to braised pork. What a waste of money, and he didn't even get anything out of it. "All right, let's get down to business. Now that you're full, it's time to beat someone up," Lin Yi said as he looked at Pin Liang. "Beat someone up?" Pin Liang paused. He didn't know what Lin Yi meant. He laughed dryly. "Boss Lin Yi, you must be joking." "About business," Pin Liang mumbled, but he was panicking inwardly. Lin Yi was eating way too fast. Their original plan was to get a bunch of seafood and drink some wine together. That should have been enough to buy them an hour or 2, but Lin Yi finished the fight in less than 20 minutes. What was he supposed to do after that? Pin Liang could only pray that Heibao would hurry up and finish the fight. Just as he was praying, his phone vibrated in his pocket. Pin Liang was overjoyed as he took out his phone and looked at it. Getting a license, selling guns, loan sharks, revenge company, good price. What the hell? Pin Liang cursed. What the hell? He wouldn't be so troubled if he could really get revenge. "Are you okay or not?" Lin Yi was getting impatient. Pin Liang had to be up to something. He kept looking at his phone, evidently waiting for a signal. Yes, yes. Pin Liang had no choice. "Actually, it's like this, Zhou Ruoming likes Tang Yun. You know that, right?" Chapter 228. How dare you hit me? Zhou Ruoming knew about our conflict, so he came to me to discuss how to deal with you. Pin Liang nodded. "Ah, Lin Yi boss, you won't be angry about what I'm about to say, will you?" Pin Liang pretended to be scared. "Just say it, don't talk so much point. If it's not your business, I won't bother you." Lin Yi frowned. "Alright, I just said it casually. Tang Yun's with Lin Yi, so you won't have a chance anymore. Might as well force yourself on her." Pin Liang didn't see any change in Lin Yi's expression before continuing. "What I didn't expect was that my words actually reminded that Zhou Ruoming, saying that it wasn't too late for him to force himself on Tang Yun, and that she'd follow him as long as he got on top of her. I was afraid of Zhou Ruoming's power, so I could only say yes. But after I went back, the more I thought about it, I was covering up a crime. If I didn't report it, Lin Yi boss would never forgive me if you knew the truth, so I. When is he going to carry out this plan?" Lin Yi interrupted Pin Liang and grabbed him by the collar. Lin Yi had guessed that Pin Liang was up to no good, but he didn't expect him to be this devious, encouraging Zhou Ruoming to deal with Tang Yun. Lin Yi didn't believe that things were as simple as Pin Liang made them out to be. This plan was most likely Pin Liang's idea, and now he was here to talk to him about it. He was treating him to a meal, and he was stalling for time. Not good. Lin Yi's heart tightened as a bad feeling rose in his heart. If what Pin Liang said was true, then Zhou Ruoming's plan to deal with Tang Yun might be tonight. Pin Liang didn't expect Lin Yi to grab him by the neck just because he said something wrong. Is it tonight? Lin Yi's hand wrapped around Pin Liang's neck. Ahem. Boss Lin Yi, let go first. Pin Liang coughed twice, his face red. He couldn't catch his breath anymore. Where are they? Lin Yi smiled coldly as he tightened his grip. If it weren't for the fact that he didn't know where Tang Yun went downstairs, Lin Yi would have squeezed Pin Liang to death. Pin Liang, I advise you to stop pretending. You think I'll believe you just because you're bad at acting? Fuck. Pin Liang took a deep breath. Fuck, you're messing with me. Since Lin Yi had seen through him, Pin Liang didn't bother pretending anymore. There was no need for it, but he was starting to regret pretending to be Lin Yi's follower for so long. Where's Tang Yun? Lin Yi loosened his grip on Pin Liang's hand. Lin Yi knew that Pin Liang would faint from lack of oxygen if he kept squeezing like this. Maybe Zhou Ruoming killed her already? Pin Liang smiled coldly. There was no need to keep up the act now that they were on bad terms. What? You want to beat me up? But you better think about it. If you beat me up, you won't be able to see Tang Yun anymore. Beat me up. Beat me up. Pin Liang looked like he had Lin Yi in the bag. He was sure that Lin Yi wouldn't dare do anything to him now. Bang! Ouch! Pin Liang wailed as he held his nose. It was bleeding from Lin Yi's slap. You dare hit me? Do you believe that I won't tell you where Tang Yun is? Bang! Ah! Pin Liang looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. You don't want to know where Tang Yun is? Bang! If Lin Yi had wanted to kill Pin Liang, he'd be dead already. Lin Yi was just teaching him a lesson. You won't keep it a secret. You wouldn't have come looking for me if you didn't want to. If I'm not wrong, you and Zhou Ruoming are working together to deal with me, right? You probably found someone to ambush Zhou Ruoming at the place where he's going to commit the crime. Then, you pretended to be friendly and gave me a tip. You're actually trying to lure me there and take revenge on me. Am I right? And the person who ambushed me. Let me think. It should be Heibao, right? How could it be so coincidental? He just escaped yesterday and you're already targeting me today. Only that idiot Heibao would help you take revenge. He must hate me for sending him to prison, right? So what if you're right? Pin Liang humphed coldly. You're just wasting time here. Tang Yun would have been dead by then. Go ahead and hit me. If you have time to hit me all you want. It's your time that's being wasted. Bang! Another punch. Are you crazy? Pin Liang looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. You still have time to hit me? You keep looking at your phone, which means that you have a secret code with Heibao. He'll contact you via text or some other method after he's done. Lin Yi curled his lips and looked at Pin Liang with pity. But you haven't received the text yet. That means that Heibao hasn't succeeded yet. You don't have to be so alarmist. Pin Liang took a deep breath and clenched his fists. He felt like a fool, being toyed with by Lin Yi like this. Lin Yi had guessed his thoughts and plans correctly. It made him want to go crazy. He wanted nothing more than for Lin Yi to die right now. But Pin Liang loosened his fists in the end. He only needed to trick Lin Yi into going to Heibao Bro's place, and Heibao Bro would be able to take care of Lin Yi. He'd be able to get his revenge then. At that thought, Pin Liang swallowed the humiliation. Fine, I'll take it that you're right. Then I won't waste any more words with you. Come with me, Heibao Bro's waiting for you at the unfinished building on Red Flower Street. You wouldn't have gotten beaten up if you'd listened to me earlier. Lin Yi patted the back of Pin Liang's head. Don't do stupid things like that again. Phew. Pin Liang gritted his teeth. Endure, endure. I'll turn into a ninja turtle and let you be cocky for a while. You'll know what tragedy is next. Do you still think that Heibao Bro is still the old Heibao Bro? Ha 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 ha. The thought of Lin Yi's shocked expression when he saw Heibao Bro's strength skyrocketing. Pin Liang felt a wave of satisfaction wash over him, and the pain on his face was thrown to the back of his mind. In the hallway of Liangbai Hotel, the waiters looked at the blood-stained Pin Liang, curious, but didn't dare ask. They were all wondering what was wrong with Master Zhong today. Master Zhong, what are you doing? The manager on the first floor was Fabai's confidant. He saw Pin Liang's expression and quickly asked. Chapter 229. Knocked out. The manager saw that Pin Liang didn't want people to stick their noses in his business, and quickly moved to the side to make way for him. Pin Liang was depressed. His image as young Master Zhong was ruined today. He was the young master of Liangbai Group, but he got beaten up like this in his own hotel. How would he be able to show his face in public if this got out? But, thinking about how Lin Yi would be sent to heaven by Heibao Bro soon, Pin Liang held it in. He didn't pretend to be a follower this time, and got into his car, not opening the door for Lin Yi anymore. Lin Yi didn't mind either, and got in the front passenger seat. Now that he'd made things clear with Lin Yi, Pin Liang didn't care if Heibao got what he wanted or not. Even if he didn't, it didn't matter if Lin Yi stopped Zhou Ruoming. It was a bit of a shame that he couldn't let Lin Yi die in pain, but there was nothing he could do about it now. Bzzz. Pin Liang's phone vibrated. Pin Liang was about to take it out for a look when he remembered that Lin Yi was beside him. He quickly pulled his hand back. Ah, Heibao texted. Let me see. Lin Yi said, glancing at Pin Liang. All right. Pin Liang handed the phone to Lin Yi, depressed. He finally understood what it meant to not fight when the odds were against him. Not showing Lin Yi would only get him beaten up. Lin Yi, on the other hand, picked the weak spots that wouldn't kill him. Pin Liang was in so much pain that he didn't pass out, and provoking Lin Yi was asking for it. Pin Liang didn't dare go overboard now that they were at loggerheads. Lin Yi had already seen through him, and he didn't have anything to threaten Lin Yi with. It's done. There were only a few words on the phone screen, but Lin Yi was sure that it was a message from Black Panther. Drive faster. Lin Yi said as he tossed Pin Liang's phone onto the driver's seat. Pin Liang wanted to buy some time, but he was afraid that Lin Yi wouldn't be happy. He stepped on the gas pedal. It was past rush hour anyway, and there weren't many cars on the road. Zhou Ruoming. A hoarse voice came from the other side of the phone. I am. May I know if you're one of Master Zhong's men? Zhou Ruoming had been waiting for Pin Liang's men to contact him. Yes, I have arrived at the unfinished building. Where are you? The man asked. I'm nearby, Zhou Ruoming said. Okay, I'll wait for you in front of the unfinished building. The other party hung up the phone without waiting for Zhou Ruoming to say anything. Zhou Ruoming quickly ran to the unfinished building, but froze when he saw who it was. Black Panther Bro. It was Black Panther Bro. What was going on? However, Zhou Ruoming was only slightly surprised. His expression returned to normal, but his heart was in turmoil. Pin Liang was using Black Panther Bro to do things for him. The news of Black Panther Bro's escape was reported on the TV, and Zhou Ruoming saw it as well. He thought that Black Panther Bro would leave Songjiang after escaping, and wouldn't stay here and wait to be caught. But things didn't turn out as he wished. Black Panther Bro was helping Pinliang catch Tang Yun, and this confused Zhou Ruoming. But Zhou Ruoming didn't say anything. This wasn't something he was worried about. He didn't care why Black Panther Bro didn't escape, but whether Tang Yun was caught or not. Black Panther Bro, hello, I'm Zhou Ruoming. Zhou Ruoming ran to Black Panther Bro and greeted him respectfully. You know me? Black Panther's eyes flashed with sharpness. I'm young Master Zhong's good friend, of course I've seen Black Panther Bro before. Zhou Ruoming's heart tightened. Black Panther Bro, what I'm doing today is illegal, you have to help me keep a lookout, okay? Black Panther heard Zhou Ruoming's words, and his expression softened a little. Zhou Ruoming let out a long sigh of relief. Black Panther escaped, and he recognized him. What if Black Panther didn't trust him and killed him? But Zhou Ruoming wasn't stupid, he quickly said that what he was going to do today was illegal as well. So if one of them reported the other wouldn't be able to get away with it. Black Panther Bro, what about Tang Yun? Zhou Ruoming turned his attention back to Tang Yun when he saw that Black Panther Bro wasn't going to talk about it anymore. In fact, whether Black Panther Bro ran or where he went had nothing to do with Zhou Ruoming. He didn't want to care about this kind of thing. He fainted, I fed him the medicine, it's in that van. Black Panther pointed to an old white Nissan van not far from him. The van was quite old, at least 20 years old, do you want me to help you? Thank you, Black Panther Bro. Zhou Ruoming's feet were weak and floating, he didn't dare carry someone up a building without handrails. What if he fell to his death? Heibao threw Tang Yun into an empty room and went downstairs. Fuck, this place doesn't even have electricity, it's so dark I can't even see. Zhou Ruoming fumbled his way up the stairs and sat on a broken staircase. He took out a small medicine bottle from his pocket and poured out a pill, swallowing it. Perhaps one wasn't enough, Zhou Ruoming thought about it and swallowed another one. This was a super strong medicine imported from Japan, it was said that one pill could last for 300 rounds. The male actors in those movies all took this medicine. Zhou Ruoming had an unknown problem, impotence. He used to overdo it when he was young, so now he couldn't do as he wished. He had to rely on some strong medicine to increase his strength. Moreover, the medicine he used was getting stronger and stronger, and the normal ones didn't have much effect anymore. She'd eaten 2 pills this time, so she'd be able to fight for an hour or 2. Ha ha ha. Ruoming started laughing lewdly. Tang Yin, I'll treat you well later. I'll let you have a taste of my power. After taking the medicine, Zhou Ruoming sat on the staircase, waiting for the medicine to take effect. He wasn't in a rush to check on Tang Yun, since she was unconscious and wouldn't wake up anytime soon. Chapter 230. You cheated. Lin Yi didn't need the kid for the time being, so he knocked him out without hesitation. Lin Yi didn't get out of the van, but sat in it and observed the surroundings. Lin Yi, get out. A person got out of the van and stood not too far from Lin Yi's car, it was Heibao, Lin Yi had guessed correctly. Golden Class Late Phase Peak. Lin Yi frowned, it was one of Lin Yi's golden fingers to be able to see through a person's true strength, but Lin Yi was still confused as to how Heibao could suddenly go from a person who didn't have much strength to a Golden Class Late Phase Peak. Lin Yi wanted to wait a bit longer, but Tang Yun was still on top of the building. Lin Yi had no choice but to get out of the car. He had to take care of Heibao as soon as possible, or Tang Yun would be in danger. Lin Yi, you didn't expect this, did you? I escaped from the police. Heibao looked at Lin Yi like he was a lamb waiting to be slaughtered, his eyes bloodthirsty. Yeah, I didn't expect this, Lin Yi nodded, but there are some things you wouldn't expect. What do you mean? Heibao paused. I'm actually a Golden Class Early Phase Master. Lin Yi's aura burst out of his body as he spoke, suppressing his strength to the early phase of the golden class. Heibao paused, but then laughed mockingly. He didn't know how strong Lin Yi was before he became a golden class late phase peak. He only thought that Lin Yi was just a bit stronger than a normal person. But now, he found out that Lin Yi was a golden class master as well. But early phase golden class was nothing in Heibao's eyes. He had the strength of a golden class late phase peak, and early phase golden class was like an adult looking at a newborn baby. What are you laughing at? Lin Yi asked calmly, haven't you heard of the division of strength in Jianghu? Heaven, Earth, Xian, and Huang. Although the Huang class is the weakest, it's enough to dominate the city. The early phase of the Huang class is equivalent to the strength of the special forces. Haha, of course I know. When Black Leopard heard Lin Yi's words, he almost burst out laughing. With your strength, you still want to show off in front of me? Do you think you are very powerful? Since you know, why are you still standing here? Do you want me, an early phase golden class master, to send you to heaven? Lin Yi said casually. Ha! Heibao smiled again, very brightly. He really didn't know what arrogance was. An early phase golden class was already this arrogant. Well, then let me see how powerful you, an early phase golden class master, are. Lin Yi's attitude today was very unusual, and it was different from Lin Yi's usual style of doing things. If Heibao knew Lin Yi's temperament, he would definitely feel that something was wrong today. Lin Yi, who was always not very flamboyant, became arrogant today, but Heibao didn't know, so he felt that Lin Yi was an egomaniac. Come on. Lin Yi looked at Heibao with disdain, I'll let you see the strength of an early phase golden class. Lin Yi put on a contemptuous posture. Facing Lin Yi's disdainful attitude, Heibao smiled coldly, as if treating Lin Yi as an ignorant person. His body moved slightly, and he suddenly threw a punch at Lin Yi. Lin Yi smiled faintly and threw a punch as well, meeting Heibao's fist. Heibao laughed at Lin Yi's stupid he dared to take a punch from a peak late phase golden class with just this little bit of strength. A punch from a mid-phase golden class was enough to heavily injure an early phase golden class, let alone a peak late phase golden class master like him. If he used his full strength, then one punch would be enough to kill an early phase golden class like Lin Yi. This wasn't what Heibao wanted to see. According to Pinliang's instructions, he wanted to heavily injure Lin Yi first, then bring Lin Yi up and watch as Zhou Ruoming ravaged Tang Yun, letting him die in pain. So in order to not kill Lin Yi, Heibao only used the strength of a mid-phase golden class. He only needed to heavily injure Lin Yi. Bang! Two fists directly bombarded together, making a muffled sound. You're not an early phase golden class. Heibao's eyes were filled with disbelief, and before he could say anything, his whole body flew out and landed heavily on the ground. Lin Yi didn't wait for Heibao to hit the ground. He flashed in front of Heibao and stepped on his chest. Crack! Several ribs broke, Lin Yi kicked him a few more times, and Heibao's eyes rolled back and he fainted. Before he fainted, he said in pain, You cheated. Lin Yi curled his lips, my master said that a qualified assassin will do whatever it takes. In Lin Yi's eyes, there were no rules at all. As long as he could achieve his goal, it was enough. Talking about rules with an assassin was bullshit. If Lin Yi had revealed the strength of a late-phase golden class like Heibao from the start, Heibao wouldn't have been so careless, and he wouldn't have only used the strength of a mid-phase golden class when he punched. Although Lin Yi was proficient in assassination and had the art of dragon mastery, it wasn't impossible for him to defeat Heibao. It was just a matter of time. But the problem was that Lin Yi didn't have that much time. Tang Yun was upstairs, and Lin Yi didn't have that much time to waste with Heibao. So Lin Yi decided to use a trick, and the idiot Heibao actually fell for it. This IQ. Man, Lin Yi was a little worried. This kind of opportunistic method was a bit despicable, but Lin Yi didn't care about it anymore under the influence of his master and old Lin, two even more shameless guys. Lin Yi looked at Heibao and turned towards Pinliang's Audi. If it weren't for the fact that Pinliang and Zhou Ruoming both knew about this, Lin Yi wouldn't mind letting Heibao transmigrate. But since Pinliang and Zhou Ruoming couldn't kill Heibao right now, Lin Yi couldn't kill Heibao either. Even so, Heibao was already a cripple, and he'd just take it as Lingshan getting off easy. Opening the Audi's door, Lin Yi carried Pinliang to the building and threw him on the ground before jumping up to the second floor. Lin Yi was like a Spider-Man, his hands clasping the cracks of the bricks outside the building, searching for Tang Yun's figure from room to room. Chapter 231. How to solve it. Tang Yun's clothes were still intact and there was only Tang Yun in the room. Lin Yi didn't know what Zhou Ruoming was up to. It had been a long time, but Lin Yi didn't have the time to care about him. He jumped into the room. Lin Yi picked Tang Yun up from the ground and checked her breathing. It was a little rushed. Lin Yi frowned. Could it be, Lin Yi was just about to check on Tang Yun's condition when he heard Zhou Ruoming's whining voice from the corridor not far from the room, "Fuck, I took 2 pills and there's still no reaction. It looks like I have to take another one. I don't know if Tang Yun's side is affected yet. I don't want to be unable to cooperate when the time comes." As expected, the kid fed Tang Yun something. Lin Yi jumped down from the window with Tang Yun in his arms. He glanced at Pinliang on the ground, and an evil smile appeared on his face. Lin Yi put Tang Yun in Heibao's van before grabbing Pinliang and jumping up to the window. He threw Pinliang on the ground and positioned him in between Tang Yun and Tang Yun. After doing all this, Lin Yi quickly returned downstairs to Heibao's side. Lin Yi hesitated for a moment and threw Heibao in the back of the van. He was not at ease and hit several acupuncture points on his body. This time, Heibao might not wake up for 2 or 3 hours. Lin Yi, naturally, wouldn't stay here. He drove Heibao's van and wanted to find a quiet place to check on Tang Yun. If Lin Yi's guess was correct, Tang Yun was drugged with a strong aphrodisiac effect. The car hadn't gone far when Tang Yun's body moved. Hot. So hot, Tang Yun woke up. Lin Yi glanced at Tang Yun, who was in the passenger seat. He didn't know if she was awake or in a half-conscious state, but her body was wriggling on the seat as if she was in great pain. "Tang Yun?" Lin Yi tried calling her name. "Yeah. Hot. I'm so hot." Tang Yun responded subconsciously when she heard Lin Yi's voice, but her body was still squirming uncontrollably. "I'm so hot." So hot, Lin Yi sighed and stopped the car in a small alley. Tang Yun seemed to have woken up already, and had some consciousness. She wasn't completely unconscious. As skilled as Master Lin was, there was nothing he could do. His old comrades were all men, and it was almost impossible for them to be drugged. As a result, Lin Yi didn't even bother researching how to deal with it. He didn't have enough time to do that. He scratched his head as he looked at Tang Yun's blushing cheeks. He couldn't help but gulp. "Don't tempt me, little girl, it's hot." It seemed like the medicine was starting to take effect as Tang Yun started to pull up her clothes. Lin Yi jumped in fright. He turned to Tang Yun. "Hey, what are you doing?" "Hot. Help me." Tang Yun didn't listen to Lin Yi. Instead, she started asking for help from Lin Yi. Her hands didn't stop moving. It wasn't easy to unbutton her clothes, so Tang Yun just pulled at it. She tore off her short-sleeved school uniform, revealing the tank top underneath. Tang Yun's strength surprised Lin Yi. But at the same time, the fire Lin Yi had been suppressing flared up once more. Although Lin Yi wasn't a gentleman, he didn't want to take advantage of Tang Yun in a situation like this. With Tang Yun's personality, she probably wouldn't blame him, but she probably wouldn't care about him anymore. As Lin Yi was thinking about it, Tang Yun jumped up from the passenger seat and threw herself at Lin Yi. "Tang Yun, calm down." Lin Yi knew that he had to go to the hospital. Lin Yi thought that it wouldn't look good for a girl like Tang Yun to go to the hospital. But now, he couldn't care less. "Hug me. I'm so hot, hug me." Tang Yun looked at Lin Yi in a daze. She reached out to pull at Lin Yi's clothes. "Fuck." Lin Yi pushed Tang Yun away. Wasn't she asking him to make a mistake? "Hey, Jiao Lao, are you there? I've always been by your side. I've never gone far." Jiao Lao said. Lin Yi was speechless. "Are you singing a legend?" "What's a legend?" Jiao Lao asked. "It's fine." Lin Yi didn't have time to waste with Jiao Yazi. "Jiao Lao, she's been drugged. Do you have a solution?" "A solution? Let me think." Jiao Yazi fell into deep thought. "A long time ago, I helped Master solve a similar problem. What method did I use?" Although Lin Yi was anxious, he didn't rush Jiao Yazi after hearing that he had a solution. He let Tang Yun kiss, hug, and tear at his clothes. "Oh. I remember now." "No, you guys practice different mental cultivation methods," Elder Jiao said in realization. "There's no other way." Lin Yi was speechless. "Yes, the one you practice will work. You just need to use the arts on these acupuncture points and your energy will enter her body. You'll be able to solve the problem," Jiao Yazi said. Elder Jiao said, "I think I told you before that the energy in your body is omnipotent, you forgot. How would I know that energy can be used to do this?" Lin Yi smiled bitterly. "Elder Jiao, tell me what to do, I can't take it anymore, I might not be able to hold it for much longer." Jiao Yazi told Lin Yi the names of the acupuncture points. Lin Yi started using the art of dragon mastery. The energy in his body was channeled into Tang Yun's body by Lin Yi. After a while, Tang Yun's body was covered in steam. Half an hour later, Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. Tang Yun had completely calmed down. Her face was red as she laid on the passenger seat, asleep. Her breathing was stable as well, not as hurried as before. Phew. Lin Yi let out a long breath. I didn't think that curing the poison would take up so much energy. Lin Yi didn't expect that half of the energy in his body would be used up just to cure the medicine, and he was starting to show signs of tiredness. Your level is too low, Jiao Yazi said coldly. Uncle doesn't need to use any energy to do this. Lin Yi rolled his eyes and ignored Jiao Yazi. Jiao Lao already looked like a master. What kind of master was his uncle? He kept comparing himself to his martial uncle. Wasn't that just humiliating him? Chapter 232. The first time Lin Yi sighed, regretful that he'd missed such a good opportunity. But Lin Yi didn't regret it, things like this were best when both parties were willing. There wasn't much meaning to it if only one of them was drugged. Lin Yi could tell himself that Tang Yun was the one who'd initiated it, but who could he fool with that kind of self-deception? He pulled out his phone and dialed in Lingshan's number. It wasn't long before Lingshan answered, her voice a little tired. Hello. Lin Yi? What's up? I'm in a meeting. Meeting? So late? Lin Yi blinked. He'd wanted Lingshan to come pick Heibao up, but Lin Yi didn't have a place to deal with him. Isn't it because of Heibao? He's a dangerous man, and if we don't arrest him soon, he'll be a threat to society. Lingshan said. Right, you didn't tell me what you wanted. I'll be hanging up if there's nothing else. Oh, then you don't need to continue the meeting then. Just dismiss them. Lin Yi said after hearing Lingshan's words. Dismiss? What do you mean? Lin Yi, are you joking? Ling Shan blinked, not sure what Lin Yi was getting at. He Bao's here, take him back. Lin Yi said. He Bao. He's here. You found him. You haven't fought him yet, have you? Keep an eye on him, I'll bring some people over right away. Ling Shan said happily before instructing Lin Yi. Don't worry, I beat him half crippled. He's in the back of my car. Lin Yi said. Half crippled. Ling Shan was suspicious. Isn't he golden class late phase peak? Why is he crippled? It wasn't that Ling Shan didn't believe in Lin Yi's strength. Peng Zhan had asked Lin Yi to protect Meng Yao, and that meant that he wasn't a simple fighter. But even if he wasn't a simple fighter, a golden class late phase peak wasn't something that could be easily dealt with. I don't know. I probably dropped a level. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't talk about his own matters. In this place, it was better for Lin Yi to keep a low profile. Lose levels. Ling Shan opened her mouth, but didn't say anything. Because what Lin Yi said wasn't unreasonable. Since He Bao could quickly improve his strength to the peak of the late phase of the golden class, it was also possible that he could fall back to his original level in an instant. Then where are you? I'll come over now. Let me see. I am at the entrance of the alley opposite Komatsu convenience store. Lin Yi looked at the landmark nearby. Little Pine convenience store. Ling Shan frowned, evidently not familiar with small stores like this. But, as soon as Ling Shan finished speaking, a colleague knew the location. I know Komatsu convenience store, it's downstairs from my aunt's house. Ling Shan turned to Lin Yi. Then wait for me. I'll be right there. Come by yourself. Hurry up, I have other things to do. Lin Yi said and hung up. He turned his head to see Tang Yin looking at him with her eyes wide open. Lin Yi jumped. Since when did Tang Yin wake up? You're awake. Yeah. Tang Yin was a little embarrassed as she lowered her head, not daring to look at Lin Yi's eyes. She wasn't actually sleepy, and she'd been wide awake before. She'd only been looking at Lin Yi after he'd gotten the medicine out of her system, and she'd been feeling a little tired after a short nap. She heard that Lin Yi was talking on the phone, so she didn't disturb him. She didn't think that Lin Yi would look at her right after hanging up. It made her a little nervous, and her face heated up as she remembered what happened earlier. Zhou Ruoming's medicine was imported, the latest technological product. After ingesting it, the person would have some sort of desire, but it wouldn't affect their consciousness. In other words, the person would always be in a conscious state. Tang Yin remembered everything she said and did, and now that she thought about it, she was the one who did such an embarrassing thing. She couldn't face Lin Yi anymore. She wanted to dig a hole in the ground and hide in it. Ha! Lin Yi smiled. How do you feel? Do you feel uncomfortable anywhere? Hearing that Lin Yi cared about her and didn't tease her or mention what happened before, Tang Yin felt relieved. She shook her head slightly, indicating that she was fine. Thank you. Tang Yin didn't know how to express her feelings. She was shy, grateful, and a little annoyed. She sent herself to him, and Lin Yi didn't want her. What was he thinking? Didn't he like her? It was such a good opportunity, and he didn't do anything to her. Was he different from people like Zhou Ruoming? He didn't just want her body, or was she not attractive enough for him? Tang Yin started to worry as she thought about it. You're welcome, Lin Yi smiled. Wait a bit, I'll send you home. Okay. Tang Yin didn't ask what Lin Yi was going to do, but she heard that Lin Yi was talking on the phone. He was probably waiting for someone. The car fell into silence. Lin Yi didn't say anything, and Tang Yin didn't say anything either. The two just sat there quietly. Lin Yi. Tang Yin pursed her lips, and finally mustered up the courage to ask the question in her heart. Why, did you reject it just now, huh? Lin Yi paused. Why did he reject it? Tang Yin actually asked him this question. Did she want him to accept it instead of rejecting it? I mean, don't you like me? If you didn't reject me just now, if we did that, then I would have become your girlfriend too. Tang Yun was panicking as she tried to explain herself. Ah. Lin Yi suddenly reached out and touched Tang Yin's hair. You got the order wrong. Tang Yin's body stiffened, but she didn't move away. She let Lin Yi put his hand on her head. What, you became my girlfriend first, then we can do that, Lin Yi smiled. I'm a person with strong principles. Oh. Tang Yin nodded, not really understanding. She touched Lin Yi's hand again. Don't touch my head, it's your fault if I don't grow taller. That was what Tang Yin said, but her heart was in turmoil. Had she misunderstood Lin Yi all this time? Was there a fundamental difference between him and Zhou Ruoming and the others? Ah. Lin Yi smiled. It was the first time Tang Yin acted like a spoiled child in front of him. It was a memorable day. You're tall enough, no one would want you if you got any taller, Lin Yi teased. Then. Isn't there still you? Tang Yin didn't know why she said something so bold. She lowered her head after saying it, not daring to look at Lin Yi. Chapter 233. Chapter 233, Heart grows closer. A police car's horn sounded from afar, and Lin Yi could see blue and red lights flashing. Ling Shan must have brought people over. Stay in the car and don't go out. I'll be back in a bit. Lin Yi said. Okay. Tang Yin nodded obediently, not arguing with Lin Yi. Lin Yi got off the car and opened the back door, pulling Heibao out. Ling Shan was driving a Jinbei police car, not the cheetah she'd been driving. This car was evidently the type used for escorting suspects. Ling Shan spotted Lin Yi right away, stopping the car in front of him. She'd heard Lin Yi say that he'd captured Heibao and beaten him to a pulp, but seeing Lin Yi holding Heibao like that still made her mouth drop into an O shape. You came alone, right? Lin Yi only relaxed after seeing that there was no one else in the car. Ling Shan was one of the few people who knew about him, after all, and Lin Yi didn't plan on letting more people know about him. You caught him just like that? Ling Shan nodded as she got off the car, looking at Heibao in Lin Yi's hands in surprise. Then how am I supposed to catch him? Lin Yi tossed Heibao on the ground. Alright, I've given him to you. I'm leaving. With that, Lin Yi turned around and walked back to the van. Wait, you still have to come back with me for a statement. Ling Shan called out to Lin Yi. Make one up yourself. Lin Yi didn't even turn around. I'll give all the credit to you, just say you caught him yourself, it has nothing to do with me. You. Ling Shan was pissed, but this credit, Ling Shan knew that catching Heibao was a huge achievement, no less than catching the bank robbers. With these two achievements, her reputation in the police department would reach a peak, and it would be a good start for her to get promoted in the future. If you want me to help you next time, then cut the bullshit. Lin Yi got back in the van and drove away, ignoring Ling Shan. Ling Shan stomped her feet angrily, picking up Heibao from the ground and throwing him in her car before driving away in the opposite direction from Lin Yi. Right, how did you get brought here? Where's Kong Xiaobo? Lin Yi asked after taking care of Heibao. Kong Xiaobo. I don't know. I left the school with Kong Xiaobo, and Kong Xiaobo said he wanted to take a taxi to the hospital, so he got on a taxi waiting for passengers at the school gate. Tang Yun said. After that, I didn't know anything, and when I woke up, I just... Tang Yun lowered her head shyly as she spoke. Lin Yi frowned and took out his phone, calling Kong Xiaobo. The phone rang for a while before Kong Xiaobo's sleepy voice came through. HM. Hello. Who is it? Xiaobo, it's me. Where are you? Lin Yi listened to Kong Xiaobo, who seemed to have just woken up, and relaxed. It seemed like Heibao's main targets were Tang Yun and him, and Kong Xiaobo should be fine. Otherwise, he wouldn't have left the phone with Lin Yi. Where am I? How did I fall asleep on the street? Kong Xiaobo paused and shouted. Oh no, boss, Tang Yun's gone. Boss, I lost Tang Yun. Alright, Tang Yun's fine. She's with me. Where are you? Do you want me to pick you up? Lin Yi asked. I don't know where this is, it's a small street, wait for me. Kong Xiaobo said sleepily. I took a taxi to the hospital with Tang Yun after school, and then I fell asleep. I just woke up now. Lin Yi was speechless. Alright, take a taxi home first. We'll talk tomorrow. Alright, I'm still a little dizzy. I'm relieved that Tang Yun's fine. See you tomorrow. Kong Xiaobo was still in a daze. Lin Yi hung up the phone with a bitter smile. He looked at Tang Yun. You guys might have been drugged, and Kong Xiaobo was thrown on the side of the road. Yes. Tang Yun didn't know who it was that wanted to do this to her. She was scared just thinking about it. If it wasn't for Lin Yi's timely appearance, she would have been, it's Zhou Ruoming. Lin Yi said. I'll let him have it easy today. I'll deal with him later. Ling Shan knew a bit about what happened today from Heibao, so Lin Yi couldn't just kill Zhou Ruoming right away. But that didn't mean he couldn't do it in the future. After this incident, making him disappear from the face of the earth was a simple matter for Lin Yi. Zhou Ruoming. Tang Yin repeated the name a little absent-mindedly before lowering her head and starting to cry, You. Tang Yun, what's wrong? Lin Yi jumped. He didn't expect Tang Yun to cry like that without any warning. It's nothing. It's nothing to do with you. I just want to cry. Tang Yun's voice was choking. Why did they bully me? Why? Just because my family's poor, so I'm easy to bully. Lin Yi sighed softly. Tang Yun's heart must have been suppressing this for a long time, and it only exploded today. This was a young girl complaining about the unfairness of her life. Wasn't Tang Yun's family the same? Mother and daughter were bullied even when they had a barbecue stall. What about other things? It was the same in school. Why would Zhou Ruoming go after Tang Yun instead of Meng Yao and Yushu? He knew that nothing would happen if he bullied Tang Yun, but if he bullied Meng Yao and Yushu, things would get out of hand. It won't happen again. Lin Yi patted Tang Yun's shoulder. He wanted to hug her, but hesitated. Just as he was hesitating, Tang Yun leaned into Lin Yi's embrace and started sobbing, Ha! Lin Yi didn't reject this time. He hugged Tang Yun's shoulder and let her cry in his arms. Perhaps Tang Yun didn't think that much, she just wanted someone to cry on. Indeed, Tang Yun didn't think too much at the moment. Leaning into Lin Yi's embrace was just to make herself feel more at ease. I'll send you home. Lin Yi asked after Tang Yun calmed down. Tang Yin was startled as she broke free from Lin Yi's arms abruptly, turning her head away in embarrassment as she let out a soft N. Lin Yi smiled, started the car, and drove towards the slums. Chapter 234. Chapter 234, Mrs. Tang's misunderstanding. Lin Yi parked the car at the spot he always parked in the slums. Then. I'll be leaving. Tang Yun was still a little embarrassed to face Lin Yi. Her crazy actions made her feel ashamed. I'll drive you. Lin Yi locked the car and got off with Tang Yun. Lin Yi looked at the tattered Tang Yun and took off his uniform, handing it to Tang Yun. Can you wear mine? Tang Yin hesitated, but didn't reject him. She was fine in the car, but now that she was back in the slums, she didn't know what people would think if they saw her dressed like this. Tang Yun took off her tattered uniform and passed it to Lin Yi. She quickly put on Lin Yi's uniform. The moment she changed, Tang Yun was only wearing a tight tank top. Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. An 18-year-old girl had already matured to perfection. He didn't think that a rundown place like the slums could nurture a beauty like Tang Yun. Compared to Meng Yao's thin figure and Yushu's plump figure, Tang Yun's figure was the most perfect. He didn't know how she managed to grow it. Lin Yi thought. Tang Yun was wearing Lin Yi's uniform. Although the style was different for boys and girls, it wasn't too obvious at night. It was just a little loose. She turned around after putting on her clothes, only to see that Lin Yi wasn't wearing anything on his upper body. It's almost summer. It's not hot. It's fine. Lin Yi smiled casually. Then. You'll wear mine. Tang Yun was touched and embarrassed at the same time. Wear yours? Lin Yi paused. Putting aside the question of whether or not he'd be able to wear it, the girl's fragrance alone was enough to intoxicate him. Then you should wear it. You'll catch a cold. Tang Yun remembered that Lin Yi wouldn't be able to wear her own clothes. Although there were a lot of naked men in the slums during the summer, Tang Yun was used to them sitting together and playing cards and eating. But it was only spring. Although the weather was hot, no one would be naked at this time of the year. People would think that they were crazy. Lin Yi put Tang Yun's clothes on him, the intoxicating fragrance from the clothes intensified. Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. He didn't know why, but he reached out to grab Tang Yun's hand. Tang Yun's body froze when Lin Yi grabbed her hand. She wanted to shake it off, but she didn't want to. Her palms were wet with sweat as her breathing quickened. It was Tang Yun's first time being held by the opposite sex. It was the second time. The first time was when she was harassed by Li Erlin, and when Lin Yi pulled her into the car. But she didn't think too much about it. This time, Tang Yun felt as if she was being electrocuted. She was nervous and excited. Was this the feeling of first love? Tang Yun was a bit lost. Her mind was blank as Lin Yi pulled her hand and slowly walked forward. The two of them walked side by side in the old alley of the shantytown without a word. They looked like a couple returning home at night. Tang Yun snapped back to reality when they were almost home. She didn't know where she got the strength from, but she pushed Lin Yi's hand away and raised her head. I'm almost there. Should we go back? Since we're already here, a few more steps won't matter. Lin Yi smiled and continued walking. Oh. Tang Yun thought. What did he mean by a few more steps? Her mother would definitely misunderstand if they were to go back like this. But would it be a misunderstanding? The two walked closer and saw that Tang Yun's house was brightly lit. Even the lights in the yard were lit. Tang Yun was confused. Why would the usually frugal family light up the yard for no reason? She walked 2 steps closer and saw her mother standing at the door, looking around anxiously. Tang Yun subconsciously called out, "Mom," but she regretted it after yelling. Lin Yi was still next to her. Although the two had let go of each other, they were still together at this late. Tang Yun wanted Lin Yi to walk her to the door and then leave. That way, her mother wouldn't be able to see him, but now, you're back. Mrs. Tang was surprised and happy to see Tang Yun return. You scared me to death. You're finally back. Mom, what are you? Tang Yun didn't know what was going on. You didn't go to the hospital after school, and you didn't go home. I asked Lu Xinwen, but she didn't know either. I was so worried that I called the police, but they said that you haven't been missing for long enough. There's nothing I can do. I can only wait here. Finally, you're back. Mrs. Tang nagged. She suddenly saw Lin Yi beside Tang Yun. She paused and awkwardly said, so you went out to play with Lin Yi. It's okay, it's okay. Next time you go out to play, give me a call. Don't make me so worried. Mom, I didn't go out to play. Tang Yin explained subconsciously, embarrassed. Lin Yi sighed. He wanted to stop her, but it was too late. If Tang Yun were to tell Mrs. Tang about what happened tonight, it would definitely scare the hell out of Mrs. Tang. He wanted her to play along with Mrs. Tang's words, but it was impossible now. Alright, alright. You didn't go out to play, okay? You guys went to school together. Mrs. Tang seemed to be very happy that her daughter and Lin Yi were together. The worry she had before was gone. Mom. Tang Yun was speechless. How could her mother be like this? Yin, your uniform. Mrs. Tang's eyes stopped on the uniform Tang Yun was wearing. This was definitely not her daughter's uniform. She saw her daughter's uniform every day, how could she not know? The uniform looked similar from afar, but the style was different. Most importantly, it was a size bigger than her daughter's uniform. Whose uniform was Tang Yun wearing? She then turned to look at the clothes Lin Yi was wearing, only to find that it was a torn school uniform. It seemed to be her daughter's, wasn't it? Mrs. Tang was shocked. Yin, you and Lin Yi. You, after all, her daughter was wearing Lin Yi's uniform, and Lin Yi was wearing her daughter's uniform. Could it be that the two of them? Mrs. Tang's heart skipped a beat as she thought of something bad. She approved of her daughter going out with Lin Yi, but it didn't mean that Mrs. Tang approved of them having a relationship so early. Mrs. Tang wasn't stupid. She knew what Xiaofan was going through. Mom, don't think too much. Tang Yun knew that her mother was thinking the wrong thing. She glared at Lin Yi. Why aren't you leaving? Chapter 235. Chapter 235, Tang Yin's Prank. Mrs. Tang had wanted to stop Lin Yi and ask him how he wanted to treat her daughter, but her daughter chased her away. She sighed helplessly. Alright, come visit when you're free. Lin Yi really couldn't stay for long, too. Tang Yin was getting more and more out of hand, and Mrs. Tang was treating him as the culprit behind her daughter's death. How could Lin Yi not leave? He got into Heibao's van, and Lin Yi drove to Menyao's villa. The van was a little broken, but it wasn't as flashy as Yushu's Beetle. Lin Yi decided to take it for himself and get a license plate from Ling Shan. Getting Huaijuan to do something for him was just a matter of a word, but he still wanted Ling Shan. He'd helped this girl out so many times, and if she didn't want to do something for him, he'd just ignore her from now on. It was only after Lin Yi left that Tang Yin grabbed her mother's hand. Mom, what are you doing? What do you mean what? Yin, this is a big deal. What if he doesn't take responsibility? Mrs. Tang panicked. Why are you so dumb? Haven't you learned your lesson from Fun? Tang Yin looked at her mother's nervous face, and for some reason, a mischievous thought popped up in her head. Weren't you the one who told me to be friends with Lin Yi? Why are you blaming me now? Mrs. Tang was speechless. She was right, she was the one who'd encouraged her daughter to be friends with Lin Yi. And now she was blaming her daughter. Mrs. Tang felt a wave of sadness wash over her at the thought. She'd thought that Lin Yi was from a good family, and that her daughter wouldn't be at a disadvantage if she followed him. But now that something like this had really happened, she was starting to panic. Tang Yun wasn't in the mood to continue joking after seeing her mother's expression. Alright, Mom, it's not what you think. Huh? Mrs. Tang paused. Aren't you? It's not that, Mom. Actually, I was captured by bad guys today, and Lin Yi saved me. Tang Yin didn't hide anything as she told her mom about how she was almost killed by Zhou Ruoming. She also told her mom about how she was drugged and how Lin Yi saved her. She lowered her head in embarrassment when she told her mom that she was the one who tore off her clothes. It's not that. Mom, I actually got caught by bad guys today. Lin Yi saved me, Een. Mrs. Tang was shocked and angry at the same time when she heard that Zhou Ruoming almost killed her. She hugged Tang Yin. It's all Mom's fault, I can't protect you. Mom, don't say that, you've already given me enough. Tang Yin wasn't an immature child. She knew that her mother had been working hard for the family. That Zhou Ruoming is such a jerk. Thank goodness we had Lin Yi, or else. Sigh. Mrs. Tang said, a little scared. But do you think Lin Yi didn't do anything to you in that situation? Yeah. Tang Yin nodded. This was the reason why her impression of Lin Yi had changed. It was also because of this that Tang Yin didn't hate him anymore. He was different from people like Zhou Ruoming and Pin Liang. Then I've wronged you. Mrs. Tang was confused. There was no reason for Lin Yi to reject a situation like this. Why did he reject her? What did that mean? Lin Yi doesn't like you. Mrs. Tang suddenly thought of a possibility, perhaps Lin Yi didn't like Tang Yin at all. It was all wishful thinking. Ah. Tang Yin paused. Mom, why do you ask? Why would he reject you if he liked you? I've been around your age, and I understand how young people think. It's the only possibility that he could reject me in that situation. Mrs. Tang analyzed. Ah, Mom, don't ask so many questions. Tang Yin shook Mrs. Tang's arm, embarrassed. Why can't I ask so many questions? Of course I have to know what you're doing. Mrs. Tang was getting more and more nervous. If Lin Yi didn't like her daughter, then wouldn't their family continue to be poor? He said that as long as I agree to go out with him, he'll. Tang Yun was so embarrassed that she ran back into the house, ignoring her mother who was standing there. Oh. Mrs. Tang was glad to hear that, but she shook her head. Lin Yi isn't a bad kid. He'll treat Een well in the future. Mrs. Tang was happy at that thought. Songshan's First People's Hospital, an ICU room. Ling Shan and a couple of police officers were sitting in front of an office table. Ling Shan frowned as she looked at her colleagues helplessly. Do you guys have any ideas? Heibao had woken up, but he didn't say anything about the sudden increase in strength. It was as if he could do whatever they wanted with him, and Ling Shan couldn't do anything about it. After all, Heibao's sudden increase in strength had nothing to do with the case, and Ling Shan couldn't force him to say anything if he didn't want to talk about it. She was just curious. Boss Song, I think we should just let it go. He doesn't have any strength now, and there's nothing we can do if he doesn't want to talk about it. This has nothing to do with the case, and we'll just send him back to the jail and close the case. A subordinate suggested. He was making sense, after all, and Ling Shan couldn't look into things that had nothing to do with the case. Just as Ling Shan was struggling, a police officer came running out of the room. Captain Song, he said. What did he say? Ling Shan asked. He said that he used some kind of pill a long time ago, and that he could use it to push his strength to its peak any time he wanted, but it wouldn't be long before he returned to normal. The officer said. Heibao wanted to sleep, and I got annoyed with him, so he told me, Ling Shan's face darkened upon hearing the report. Saying something like that was as good as not saying anything at all. There was no value in it. But, Heibao really wasn't lying. He did use a similar pill a long time ago, and he could use it with his sex arts to make his strength explode. Ling Shan thought about how weak Heibao was right now, and decided to believe him. There was nothing she could do about it. Heibao had indeed been crippled by Lin Yi, and if it weren't for the fact that he'd lost a level, she wouldn't believe that Lin Yi was that strong. Chapter 236. I'm looking for thief. Lin Yi parked the van in front of Menyao's villa, right next to Yushu's beetle. The beetle was suitable for carrying Mengyao or Yushu out on business, but the van had a lot of uses. Lin Yi was planning on going to his room to change his clothes after entering the villa, but Mengyao and Yushu were watching TV in the living room. They froze when they saw Lin Yi walk in. Lin Yi, what are you doing? Acting like a gangster. Mengyao looked at Lin Yi, confused. Didn't you invite Pinliang for dinner? What happened to you? Don't talk about it, I'll change my clothes first. Lin Yi said as he walked to his room. That guy wanted to mess with me, he got someone to teach me a lesson, and now I'm like this. Lin Yi didn't want to talk too much about Tang Yin's situation, only saying that Pinliang wanted to get someone to deal with him, and that's why his clothes were like this. Yushu looked at Lin Yi's back, confused. Mengyao, on the other hand, wasn't paying attention to Lin Yi at all. Lin Yi took off Tang Yin's uniform, wanting to throw it away, but decided to put it in the closet after some hesitation. It was Tang Yin's clothes, after all, and while Lin Yi didn't have the hobbies of collecting things used by pretty girls, Lin Yi felt that if he were to get closer to Tang Yin in the future, it'd be a memento. After taking a shower, Lin Yi walked out of his room with a new set of clothes. Shield bro, tell me, what's fun today? Yushu was a curious baby, always wanting to get to the bottom of things. She wouldn't stop asking questions whenever she saw Lin Yi. It's nothing, Pinliang just doesn't like me. He wanted to teach me a lesson, but he never got the chance. But Heibao got in touch with him, and he wants to use Heibao to teach me a lesson. Lin Yi said simply. Heibao. Mengyao blinked. Lin Yi, you're saying that Pinliang got Heibao to deal with you again? Yeah, what's wrong? Lin Yi asked, confused by Menyao's attitude. I heard my dad say that Heibao's strength skyrocketed all of a sudden, beating up a special forces soldier who just came back. Mengyao said. You. Are you alright? But Mengyao regretted asking the question right after. It was obvious that nothing had happened to him, and asking him was a waste of time. Ah, it's nothing. Heibao's gotten a lot stronger, but he dropped a level again after meeting me. Lin Yi smiled. I beat him up and sent him to the police station. Mengyao said. What Lin Yi saying? Heibao said Heibao just happened to drop a level. Did he think this was a game? Yushu, on the other hand, wasn't going to let Lin Yi go so easily. She started asking for details. Shield bro, tell me, how did you torture Heibao this time? Torture? Lin Yi looked at the excited Yushu. So this girl had a tendency. Lin Yi, of course, couldn't tell her the details, but who didn't know how to bullshit? Yushu couldn't believe her ears as she listened to a random scene of a fight. Alright, Shu, let's go to bed. Don't listen to violent stuff all the time, it's bad for your soul. Mengyao wasn't too interested in what Lin Yi was talking about. She wasn't as curious as Yushu was. Heibao's life or death had nothing to do with her. But I like it, Yao Yao. It sounds like a storytelling. Yushu said. Alright, I'm done. It's time to sleep. It's not pretty if you don't get enough sleep. Mengyao said. I'm going up. You can listen if you want. With that, Mengyao turned around and went upstairs. Yushu stuck her tongue out at Lin Yi. Shield bro, tell me another day then. Another day? I don't have time. Lin Yi shook his head. He didn't have the time to tell a story to a curious child. The clothes you're wearing today aren't yours. Hee hee. With that, Yushu ran after Mengyao. Wait for me, Yao Yao. Lin Yi paused, a bitter smile on his face. He'd thought that the toilet paper incident and Yushu were even. He'd seen her asking for toilet paper at school, so she wouldn't use the word toilet paper to threaten him anymore. They were pretty much the same after all, what he didn't expect was that the toilet paper incident was followed by a school uniform incident right after that. This girl's observation skills weren't just average. With a shake of his head, Lin Yi went back to his room. In the North District, in a two-story building, a blood-curdling scream came from within. This was something Lin Yi hadn't foreseen. Originally, Lin Yi just wanted to throw Pin Liang up there and let Zhou Ruoming pretend that Pin Liang was Tang Yun in the dark, kissing him to disgust him, but things changed quickly, and Pin Liang's tragedy was even worse. Zhou Ruoming didn't expect that the more nervous he was, the more useless he became. He took 2 pills, but there was no reaction at all. In a fit of rage, he blamed everything on Tang Yun. He thought that it was because Tang Yun was Lin Yi's girlfriend, and it made him feel like he was using second-hand goods. That was why he wasn't interested at all. This triggered Zhou Ruoming's anger. He grabbed his belt and was about to teach Tang Yun a lesson, and so, after Zhou Ruoming ran in, he started whipping Tang Yun on the ground with his belt. After hearing Pin Liang's blood-curdling scream, he realized that something was wrong. The next morning, Lin Yi was woken up by his phone ringing. He thought it was Kong Xiaobo, but it was an unknown number. Hello. Lin Yi picked up. The person on the other side of the phone was silent for a while before asking carefully, "Are you the great thief?" Huh. Lin Yi was stunned. What great thief? You dialed the wrong number. With that, Lin Yi hung up. Sun Jingyi looked at the phone, confused. She didn't dial the wrong number, did she? Could it be that the identity of Daoist was a secret, and he didn't dare to reveal it, so he rejected her directly? It seemed like that was the only possibility. But Sun Jingyi didn't have anyone suitable to help her right now. She could only dial Lin Yi's number. Lin Yi saw the same number and didn't want to pick it up, but the phone kept ringing. Lin Yi had no choice but to pick it up. Hello? Didn't I tell you that I dialed the wrong number? Are you done? Chapter 237. Half of the man's offer, no. Lin Yi wanted to cuss. Was there something wrong with her getting up so early in the morning? Calling for a thief? Wait. Thief Lin. Wasn't his surname Lin? Who are you looking for? Lin Yi asked. I'm looking for the great thief, Mr. Lin Yi. Sun Jingyi didn't understand why Lin Yi wouldn't admit it. You are. Lin Yi sweated. This call really was for him, but since when did he become a great thief? I'm Sun Jingyi. Do you remember that day at the Floating Cloud Bar? Sun Jingyi was afraid that Lin Yi would hang up again, so she blurted it all out in one breath. Oh, so it's you. The image of Sun Jingyi's elegant and mature figure appeared in Lin Yi's mind. What's up? I want to ask you to come out of retirement. Sun Jingyi said carefully. Come out of retirement? Don't tell me you're still pretending to be your boyfriend. Lin Yi was startled. This Sun Jingyi was pretty interesting, coming up with the phrase, come out of retirement. But this girl was pretty dumb, too. He lied to her about being a great thief, and she actually believed him. No. I have something else I need your help with, Sun Jingyi said. I want you to help me steal a document from a company. Steal a document? Lin Yi was startled. Did this girl really think of him as a great thief? Steal a document? Yes, Lin Yi, can you help? I can pay you a lot. Sun Jingyi said. Oh. Lin Yi was about to refuse, but he changed his mind when he heard Sun Jingyi say a lot. Steal what document? How much are you going to pay? Lin Yi was in dire need of money right now. Although Peng Zhan had given Lin Yi a credit card with unlimited overdrafts, Lin Yi always felt like he was living off a woman. Moreover, Lin Yi didn't know how to spend the money as he pleased. For example, Lin Yi could use his own money to pay for Xiaofen's medical fees, but if he used his credit card, it would be troublesome if Faubert asked about it. Therefore, Lin Yi intended to make a sum of money as soon as possible. Moreover, his business plan required a large sum of money. Even if he had a few formulas and Xuemin's reputation, it wouldn't be easy to start a company and build a factory. He would need a lot of money to start a company. It's a video of an employee of my company giving a commission to a supervisor of a company. Jingyi said. You know that my company is in the trades, commissions and rebates aren't a secret in the industry, but a competitor took a video of it and was planning to leak it to the media. Jingyi said. Oh, and then? Lin Yi listened to Sun Jingyi's explanation and roughly understood the situation. It wasn't anything complicated. This way, the company will be punished and its reputation will be damaged. Sun Jingyi said. Then they must have some conditions to threaten you, right? You didn't agree to their conditions and instead asked me to steal the information at a high price. Why do I feel like you're asking for something far away? There was one more thing that Lin Yi didn't say. Did she think that the price of stealing the information from him would be lower than the other party's conditions? Master Lin's price was never low. Did Sun Jingyi really think that it would be the same as last time, 1,000 yuan? The other party's conditions. Sun Jingyi clenched her teeth. It wasn't that she hadn't contacted the company before, but the boss had said that if she slept with him for a night, the incident would be over and the video would be returned to her. But how could Sun Jingyi agree to that? How about this? I'll take 50% of their conditions. I'm a very fair person, and I don't cheat anyone. Lin Yi said. I still have things to do. Call me when you're done. Lin Yi saw Sun Jingyi's hesitation and hung up. They'd only met once. Did this girl think he was a laborer? There was a fee for leaving the mountain. Pinliang limped into the classroom, his eyes filled with hatred as he looked at Lin Yi's seat coldly. But he didn't dare show it. Heibao Bro had been sent to prison by Lin Yi again. Moreover, he had been beaten into a half-cripple. Pinliang had heard about this since last night. Fabai was a well-known figure in Songshan, and naturally, he had friends in the police department. He didn't know how Lin Yi beat up Heibao Bro and sent him to prison, but Lin Yi's strength was not to be underestimated. Heibao Bro had reached the peak of the late phase of the golden class, and could even walk on walls, but he was defeated by Lin Yi again. Just how strong was Lin Yi? If he didn't take revenge, he wouldn't be a man. The humiliation Pinliang had suffered last night was something he would never be able to remember for the rest of his life. And it was all thanks to Lin Yi. Lin Yi, as soon as I get the chance, I'll make you regret being born into this world. Pinliang clenched his fists. Boss, I'm really sorry for last night, I couldn't take care of sis-in-law Tang Yun. Kong Xiaobo blamed himself. It's not your fault, there's probably something wrong with that taxi. Lin Yi said, oh right, how are you? Are you okay? I'm fine, they probably didn't do anything to me. Kong Xiaobo said, oh right, boss, what happened after you and Pinliang had dinner yesterday? Why is he limping today? Hemorrhoids? Pfft. Lin Yi's eyes widened in shock. Was this Zhou Ruoming blind? Did he think that Pinliang was Tang Yun? How else could it have this effect? Lin Yi speculated maliciously, who knows, yesterday Pinliang called Heibao over to deal with me again, but I sent him to the police station again. Lin Yi explained, and didn't mention Tang Yun's capture. Lin Yi didn't want to talk about Tang Yun. Kong Xiaobo also saw that Lin Yi didn't want to talk about it, so he didn't ask anymore. The most important thing was that Tang Yun was safe. Oh right, boss, do you think Fun and I? Are we compatible? Kong Xiaobo had been thinking about this question for the past few days, and it made him feel lost. If it was love at first sight, it would be more accurate to say that Kong Xiaobo fell in love with Fun's beauty. Although it wasn't as beautiful as Tang Yun, it was enough to shock Kong Xiaobo. After knowing what happened to Fun, Kong Xiaobo felt pity for this girl from the bottom of his heart. Especially when he saw Fan's helpless and pitiful expression, it gave Kong Xiaobo the urge to protect her for the rest of her life. This was also the reason why Kong Xiaobo was so passionate these past few days. 18 years old was an age where one could go through fire and water for love. But after the impulse, Kong Xiaobo had to think deeply about his and Fan's future. Chapter 238. Tang Yun has a date. Kong Xiaobo wanted to know if he really liked Xiaofan, or if it was just a moment of impulsiveness. So he asked Lin Yi for advice. It's too early to think about this. Lin Yi naturally knew what Kong Xiaobo was conflicted about. He patted his shoulder. Right now, it's not about whether you two are compatible or not, it's about whether Xiaofan will accept you or not. That's right. Kong Xiaobo was reminded by Lin Yi, and he suddenly realized that it was all his wishful thinking. He wanted to be with Xiaofan, but Xiaofan might not be able to be with him. If you really have feelings for her, you can try to interact with her. As time goes by, you will naturally be able to confirm your feelings. Lin Yi said, but no matter what decision you make, you must not hurt Xiaofan. You can afford to hurt her, but she can't. Don't worry, boss. I understand, I won't tell Fan about this until I'm absolutely sure of my own feelings. Xiaobo said with a sigh of relief. Tang Yun didn't sleep well last night. She was chatting with her mother for the first half of the night. Although it was a chat, it was all about Lin Yi. Tang Yun's head was spinning, and she didn't dare to say anything wrong. Her mother finally fell asleep, and Tang Yun wasn't too sleepy anymore. She remembered that Lin Yi's clothes were still with her, so she got up and helped Lin Yi wash them. The next day, she brought the clothes to school, but she was troubled. How was she going to give the clothes to Lin Yi? Send it directly to his class? Wouldn't people misunderstand? After the first class, Tang Yun held the clothes in her hands, hesitating if she should give it to Lin Yi. She wanted to stand up a few times, but she sat back down. Tang Yun was angry at herself. Why couldn't she be more decisive? What's the big deal with giving him clothes? But if she asked for a formula from Lin Yi, the whole school would be in an uproar. If she gave the clothes to Lin Yi, what would people say? They might even think that she and Lin Yi were sleeping together. Tang Yun flinched at the thought of that. Right, she could ask Lu Xinwen for help. She suddenly thought of her best friend, Lu Xinwen. She could ask her to make an appointment with Lin Yi. Wouldn't it be fine if they met at the school field after class? Tang Yun put down the clothes in her hands and quickly walked out of the classroom, heading towards Lu Xinwen's class. After the second period, Xinwen came to Class 5's classroom with a heavy heart. She sighed at how depraved Yun Yun was, asking Lin Yi to meet her in the field. After the second class, Lu Xinwen came to Class 5's classroom with a heavy heart. She thought that Tang Yun had really fallen, asking Lin Yi to the school field. Lu Xinwen wanted to ask her why she wanted to meet Lin Yi, but the 10 minutes after class wasn't enough. Lu Xinwen had no choice but to quickly agree. She planned to ask Tang Yun in detail at noon or at night. Hey, look for Lin Yi in your class. Lu Xinwen was a tough person and didn't care about anything. She grabbed a student from Class 5 and said, "Oh, wait." The student didn't think much and went into the classroom to call for Lin Yi. Lin Yi wondered who was looking for him. He walked out of the classroom and saw that it was Lu Xinwen. "What's the matter?" "Lin Yi, what's your relationship with Tang Yun?" Lu Xinwen didn't want to ask Tang Yun, so she came to question Lin Yi. "Me and Tang Yun." "Tang Yun, heh." Lin Yi looked at Lu Xinwen's expression and found it funny. "What's my relationship with her?" "You don't know. Then are you dating her?" Lu Xinwen asked straightforwardly. She wasn't a pretentious person, so she said what she wanted to say. Not yet, Lin Yi said honestly. What are you here for? Just to ask me about this? I don't think you're that gossipy. If you're in the mood, why don't you ask Kong Xiaobo if he's dating Xiaofan? I'm just asking. Xinwen curled her lips, but let out a sigh of relief when she got Lin Yi's reply. From what she could see, Lin Yi didn't seem like someone who liked to lie. He was a man of his word, and he wouldn't lie to people about small things like this. Then it's fine. If there's nothing else, I'm going back. Lin Yi rolled his eyes. Was this girl crazy? Why did she come to ask about this after class? Even Tang Yun's mother wasn't as gossipy as her. Wait, Tang Yun asked you to wait for her under the tree on the left side of the field after the 4th period. Lu Xinwen said and left without waiting for Lin Yi's reply. Under the tree on the left side of the field. Lin Yi rubbed his nose. Was this the first time Tang Yun asked him out? Back in the classroom, Kong Xiaobo couldn't wait and asked, Boss, I saw Lu Xinwen looking for you, what's up? Don't worry, Xiaofan is fine. It's my problem. Lin Yi could guess what Kong Xiaobo was thinking. One sentence was enough to make him feel at ease. Hearing that it wasn't Xiaofan's problem, Kong Xiaobo nodded and didn't ask anymore. During the exercise break, Lin Yi saw Zhou Ruoming sitting under the basketball hoop with a sad face. The 4th-year students didn't need to participate in the exercise break, so the school didn't restrict these students. The so-called 4th year was actually a cram school for college entrance exams. In order to increase their income, some high schools would set up similar cram schools. The target was not only the 3rd-year students who didn't get into college, but also students from other schools or society who didn't get into college. As long as they paid the money, they would be able to stay in the 4th year, forever. Lin Yi looked at Zhou Ruoming indifferently. Lin Yi had already marked this person with a death mark. Lin Yi wouldn't let go of anyone who dared to make a move on the people around him. A few classes away, Lin Yi saw Tang Yun and waved at her. Tang Yun glared at Lin Yi and turned away shyly, not looking at him anymore. Meng Yao and Yushu were always the focus of most boys. During the exercise break, many people would stare at them, but they were already used to it. Pin Liang stood by the window of the teaching building, his eyes moving from Meng Yao to Lin Yi. Ever since Lin Yi showed up, he'd never been able to do anything so smoothly. This person must disappear from his sight. Pin Liang was thinking about it angrily when his phone vibrated in his pocket. He took it out and saw that it was his father, Zhong Fabai. Dad? Pin Liang was confused. Usually, Fabai wouldn't call him when he was in school. Chapter 239. Chapter 239, the girl under the tree. Fabai called to confirm Pin Liang's intentions, to see if he was going to meet Heibao. Heibao bro's looking for me. Pin Liang paused before agreeing without hesitation. I'll meet him. Not only did he fail to kill Lin Yi this time, but he even sent Heibao bro to jail once more. This made Pin Liang hate Lin Yi to the core. He wanted to ask Heibao bro what Lin Yi was capable of, to be able to make Heibao bro suffer again. Alright, I'll pick you up at school later at noon. Don't tell anyone about this. Fabai relaxed a little at Pin Liang's words. He was worried that his son wouldn't know any better and wouldn't meet Heibao. It'd be bad if Heibao wasn't happy about it. But Pin Liang's straightforwardness surprised Fabai a little. Got it, Dad. Pin Liang hung up the phone and clenched his teeth as he clutched his wounds. He was unconscious yesterday, but was woken up by a slap with a belt. Pin Liang had never been beaten like this before, and it shocked and angered him at the same time. He realized that he'd been tricked by Lin Yi after he asked for the reason. Zhou Ruoming had mistaken him for Tang Yun, and while Pin Liang was annoyed, he was glad that Zhou Ruoming had beaten him up. What if Zhou Ruoming had hugged him and called him Tang Yun? Wouldn't that be disgusting? The more Pin Liang thought about it, the more he felt that Lin Yi was despicable. Fourth period ended, and Lin Yi stood up in a hurry to go to his appointment. Xiaobo called out to him. "Boss, are you going to the washroom?" "I'm not going." Lin Yi was speechless. "Then why don't you come with me?" "I'm going." Kong Xiaobo said. "I'm going on a date." "You go by yourself." Lin Yi patted Kong Xiaobo's shoulder. Why was this guy so annoying today? Why was he asking him to go to the washroom? "Ah, then hurry up and go." Only then did Kong Xiaobo react. He was a little embarrassed. "Boss, I'll talk to you at noon." "Actually, I have something to talk to you about, then let's talk at noon." Lin Yi quickly ran out of the classroom. He didn't know if Tang Yun was in a hurry because of Kong Xiaobo. At noon, the sun shone brightly on the open sports field. Apart from a few students playing basketball, there were not many people playing on the sports field at this time. Zhou Ruoming made a layup, but he suddenly saw Lin Yi walking out of the building. He lost his balance and fell to the ground. The basketball in his hand also flew to the side. He had already developed some psychological trauma towards Lin Yi. This guy was not human. Although there was no evidence to prove that it was Lin Yi who did it, was there still a need for evidence? There was no need at all. Heibao Bro was nowhere to be found, and Pin Liang was knocked out and left at Tang Yun's place. If this wasn't Lin Yi's doing, then was it Superman? Was it Ultraman? Zhou Ruoming didn't expect Lin Yi to be this strong. He tried to do something to Tang Yun yesterday, so when he saw Lin Yi, he subconsciously thought that Lin Yi was here to cause trouble. That's why he lost his balance and fell to the ground. Lin Yi looked at Zhou Ruoming coldly. In Lin Yi's eyes, Zhou Ruoming was no different from an ant. He could make him disappear in a matter of minutes, but not now. The situation in Songshan wasn't clear, and Lin Yi didn't want to get involved. He didn't want to cause too much trouble. Plus, Lin Yi had really fallen in love with the school life. The days of bullets and bullets had made Lin Yi sick of it. At the end of the day, Lin Yi was still an 18-year-old boy. Throwing himself into the environment that an 18-year-old should be living in, it was new and exciting. That distant youth's maturity was buried deep in his heart. Lin Yi quickly made his way to the small forest at the side of the field. A beautiful girl stood under the shade of the trees, her eyes bright and alluring. A light breeze brushed past her skirt, giving off the feeling of a main character from the school's manga. Seeing Lin Yi run past, the girl's lips curved into a charming smile before shyly lowering her head. Lin Yi ran in front of her. "Tang Yun, you've been here for a while." "Kong Xiaobo was bothering me, so I wasted some time. I just got here." Tang Yun shook her head and took a deep breath. She reached her hands out from behind and handed them over. "I've already washed your clothes yesterday." "Ah." Lin Yi didn't expect Tang Yun to call him over for his school uniform. "Why do you need to wash it? It's not like it's dirty when you wear it, and you smell, don't say it." Tang Yun raised her fist, a little embarrassed as she pretended to hit Lin Yi. "How can you not be serious? I'm leaving. Let's go back together, I need to go back too." Lin Yi pointed at the school building. "Yeah, it was on the way." Tang Yun hesitated for a moment, but didn't say anything. She walked forward lightly. Lin Yi quietly followed beside her. There weren't many people on the field, but there were some who'd heard about Lin Yi and Tang Yun's relationship. They didn't believe it before, but now that they saw them walking together, they couldn't help but think that the love letter incident was real. Everyone sighed, but didn't dare get close. What kind of existence was Lin Yi? He was one of the young bullies who'd beaten up Zhou Ruoming and Pin Liang, and was still running rampant in the school. Who would dare to criticize such a person face to face? As they passed by the basketball hoop, Lin Yi saw Wang Jifeng scolding Zhou Ruoming's students with a serious face. Zhou Ruoming and his lackeys had a sad look on their faces. "You're here to prepare for the university entrance exams, but you only play basketball and smoke. What are you doing here? If you don't want to study, then get the hell out of here. There's a limited number of people who want to come." Wang Jifeng was in charge of the fourth-year cram school, and he had the power to kick out any student he wanted. These students weren't students themselves, so he didn't need to report to the school or the education bureau. Lin Yi stopped walking, but Tang Yun was avoiding his gaze, not daring to look at Zhou Ruoming. She wanted to walk away quickly, but Lin Yi grabbed her hand. "Ah!" Tang Yun cried out, but it attracted Wang Jifeng and Zhou Ruoming's attention. Jifeng saw Lin Yi and Tang Yun holding hands in the field, and felt a little awkward. He was the dean, and he was reprimanding a student, and there were other students holding hands in the middle of school. He couldn't do anything about it at all. Wang Jifeng could only smile and nod at Lin Yi, hoping that he'd pull Tang Yun away. They could flirt wherever they wanted, as long as it wasn't right under his nose. Chapter 240. Face slap. "Dean Wang, do you mind if I take up a minute of your time?" Lin Yi smiled at Wang Jifeng. "Ah. I don't mind, it's fine, it's fine." Wang Jifeng was troubled. He couldn't control himself and got caught red-handed by Lin Yi in the office. He wouldn't have to do this otherwise. Lin Yi nodded and pulled the panicking Tang Yun towards Zhou Ruoming. Tang Yun tried to pull her hand out of Lin Yi's grasp, but she wasn't as strong as he was. Tang Yun was stupefied at this point. Holding hands with a boy in front of the dean was something she didn't even dare think about. He might even be expelled from the school. But the dean didn't seem to notice it at all. He was still treating Lin Yi with that kind, friendly face of his. Truth be told, Tang Yun was afraid of Zhou Ruoming from the bottom of her heart. It was a fear that came from the heart. Zhou Ruoming did things without a care in the world, and she didn't know what Zhou Ruoming would do to her next. But she didn't feel that way towards Lin Yi, not in the past, and definitely not now. Slap. A loud slap landed on Zhou Ruoming's face. Wang Jifeng was shocked, and so were Zhou Ruoming's lackeys. Even Tang Yun looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. Did he just slap Ruoming in front of the dean? Zhou Ruoming's eyes were filled with hatred and fear after the shock. Zhou Ruoming was truly afraid of Lin Yi. The kid was too ruthless, and not just any normal kind of ruthless person. "I slapped you to wake you up. Tang Yun is my woman. If you try anything on her again, I'll make you disappear from this school." Lin Yi's words were ambiguous. Disappear from the school. Lin Yi's intention was to make him disappear from the face of the earth. Overbearing. Arrogant. Arrogant. This was the evaluation of Lin Yi by the students who saw this scene. Who would dare to slap someone in the face in front of the head of teaching? Who would dare to do it? But Lin Yi did it, and Wang Jifeng didn't say a word. Not only that, Lin Yi said that Tang Yun was his woman in front of Wang Jifeng. Since the founding of Songshan's first school, no one had ever dared to do that. Even the legendary head of the Big Four bullies wasn't as arrogant as Lin Yi, right? Tang Yun's face was a little red. She was a little angry, but there was also a trace of happiness in her heart. Lin Yi was calling her his woman in front of the dean. This crazy thing made Tang Yun, who had always been a good girl in school, suddenly feel a trace of rebellious joy. "All right, Mr. Wang, you can continue. I think these guys are asking for a beating, don't you think so?" Lin Yi said to Wang Jifeng after slapping Zhou Ruoming. It was as if the slap wasn't from him. "Ha!" Wang Jifeng laughed dryly. He wasn't in the mood to scold Zhou Ruoming anymore. He waved his hand and let them leave. Lin Yi also pulled Tang Yun towards the school building. "Let go of me. Tang Yun came back to her senses after 2 steps. She quickly swung her arms, trying to break free from Lin Yi's hand. Lin Yi was afraid that she would run away, but now he wasn't afraid anymore. He let go of her hand. "Why did you say that I'm your woman?" Tang Yun's eyes widened as she looked at Lin Yi. "What do you want me to do in the future? How embarrassing would that be?" "Ha, I just want you to see that there's nothing to be afraid of with Zhou Ruoming." Lin Yi didn't answer the question directly. "I can feel your fear of him, so I'm using my actions to tell you that I can beat him up any time I want, even in front of the dean." "Ha, I'm not afraid of Zhou Ruoming at all." "Ah." Tang Yun froze. She didn't think that Lin Yi would do this for this reason. She felt touched. Now that she thought about it, Zhou Ruoming didn't seem as scary as before. An evil man was pushed down from his pedestal by Lin Yi, an evil man who could be slapped in the face by Lin Yi at any time, but didn't dare complain. Was he still an evil man? Tang Yun didn't agree with Lin Yi's use of violence, but there was a saying that bad people needed to be beaten by bad people. But you can't say that in front of so many people. "I'm a girl, not like you, shameless." Although Tang Yun was touched, she didn't want to change her words. "Ha." Lin Yi didn't reply. "Let's go, class is about to start, okay?" Tang Yun didn't refute. She didn't know why, but she didn't reject Lin Yi anymore. Even if Lin Yi said that, Tang Yun didn't feel any disgust. "Right, yesterday. You helped me expel the drug from my body. How did you do it?" Tang Yun didn't have time to ask because she was in a rush yesterday. She remembered it today and quickly asked. It's a type of Chinese massage. It's similar to acupuncture." Lin Yi naturally wouldn't explain the art of dragon mastery and energy. Tang Yun wouldn't understand even if he did. If that's the case, then, Lin Yi, can you cure Xiaofen's illness? Tang Yun was thinking about this question yesterday. Although she didn't know where Lin Yi learned his medical skills from, it had been verified twice. It was effective. The first time was when Xiaofen's illness acted up, and the second time was when he detoxified her yesterday. This meant that Lin Yi was quite capable. So, Tang Yun thought that if that was the case, could Lin Yi cure Xiaofen's illness? It should be possible, but not now. Lin Yi didn't have any medicine to stimulate the nerves. He only had some that his old man used to strengthen his body. Lin Yi didn't bring it with him. Xiaofen's leg needed acupuncture and medicine to recover. Acupuncture alone wouldn't have much effect. Oh. Tang Yun thought that Lin Yi's medical skills weren't good enough to cure Xiaofen's illness. She nodded in disappointment. The bell rang. Lin Yi and Tang Yun quickened their pace. When they were about to reach class 9, Tang Yun suddenly quickened her pace. She probably wanted to increase the distance between her and Lin Yi. Lin Yi smiled and didn't follow. He waited for Tang Yun to enter the classroom before he quickened his pace back to his own class. "Boss, you were so cool just now." Kong Xiaobo turned around and gave Lin Yi a thumbs up the moment he sat down. "What do you mean?" Lin Yi was startled. "Did this kid see something? I was in the corridor just now. I saw you slap Zhou Ruoming in front of Director Wang." "Boss, you're amazing." Kong Xiaobo was impressed. "No one else saw it, right?" Lin Yi frowned. He didn't expect Kong Xiaobo to see it. "No, it was just me," Kong Xiaobo nodded. Chapter 241. Are you sure you want half? It's about Xiaofen. Kong Xiaobo said. "What, you've thought it through?" Lin Yi was surprised. He didn't expect Kong Xiaobo to think it through so quickly. "That's not it. Kong Xiaobo shook his head in embarrassment. This kind of thing naturally has to be carefully considered. I want to get in touch with Xiaofan first. What I want to tell you is that I want to earn money for Xiaofan's treatment. That's not it. Xiaobo shook his head, a little embarrassed. Things like this have to be carefully thought. I want to talk to Fan first. What I want to tell you is that I want to earn money for Fan's treatment. That's not it. Kong Xiaobo shook his head in embarrassment. This kind of thing naturally has to be carefully considered. I want to get in touch with Xiaofan first. What I want to tell you is that I want to earn money for Xiaofan's treatment. You want to earn money for Xiaofan's treatment? Lin Yi was startled as he looked at Kong Xiaobo in disbelief. Is this kid really that great? The environment Lin Yi grew up in and the training methods of his two mentors made him a cold person. He'd ignore things that didn't concern him. If it wasn't his or his friends' matters, Lin Yi wouldn't care at all. Yeah. Kong Xiaobo nodded. Boss, do you know of any places to work? You're about to take the college entrance exam, and you're still going to work. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry at Kong Xiaobo's words. The college entrance exam isn't really much. Since I have money, I'll just spend it. Many universities are affiliated with each other. Kong Xiaobo sighed. Boss, with my results, it's impossible for me to get into a good university. It'll be hard for me to find a job after I graduate from a third-rate university. Lin Yi nodded. Kong Xiaobo's words made sense, but they weren't completely correct. But that salary isn't even enough to pay for Xiaofan's treatment, let alone the affiliated school. Lin Yi wasn't trying to attack Kong Xiaobo, but that was how the labor market was. A salary of 2,000 to 3,000 a month was already considered high. Kong Xiaobo was a little disappointed by Lin Yi's words. He had to admit that Lin Yi was right. The money he earned from working was just a drop in the bucket. My grandfather is old-fashioned. If he had opened a pharmaceutical factory, I wouldn't be like this. My second grandpa's family has registered the patent for the prescription, so I can't even sell it now. Heh. Lin Yi didn't say anything, but a plan was brewing in his mind. During the lunch break, Lin Yi and Kong Xiaobo were having lunch in the school cafeteria. Lin Yi received a call from Sun Jingyi again. Lin Yi, have you thought it through? Can you help me? Sun Jingyi's voice sounded a little anxious. If it wasn't an emergency, she wouldn't be in such a hurry. Miss Sun, I think it's you who hasn't thought it through. Do you agree to my conditions? Asked Lin Yi. Your conditions. Sun Jingyi suddenly remembered that the conditions Lin Yi said in the morning were half of the other party's conditions. At that time, Sun Jingyi thought he was joking, so she didn't take it seriously. Now that she heard Lin Yi still say this, she asked curiously, Are you sure? I'm sure. I'm honest. Lin Yi said, This is the rule of the great thief. This is my ancestral teaching. If you can't accept it, then don't talk about it. I still have to eat. Wait, Lin Yi, where are you? I'll treat you to a meal. Let's not talk about it. Sun Jingyi was afraid that Lin Yi would hang up the phone again, so she said quickly. Oh, then you wait for me at the snack street behind Songjiang First High School. I'm there. Lin Yi naturally wouldn't refuse the money that came to him. Well, I'm coming now. See you in 10 minutes. After Sun Jingyi finished, she simply hung up the phone. Bro, do you have something? Kong Xiaobo also heard Lin Yi's phone call, but he didn't understand what Lin Yi said. You eat first. I'm going out to do something. After Lin Yi finished, he got up and walked out of the cafeteria. 10 minutes later, Lin Yi saw Sun Jingyi at the snack street. Sun Jingyi was driving a red Audi A4L. Lin Yi was slightly surprised. He didn't expect Sun Jingyi to have a car. She seemed to have taken a taxi to the bar that day. But thinking about it, Who would drive to the bar? How would they drive a car when they were drunk? Lin Yi didn't wear his school uniform today. His school uniform was with Tang Yun. So, when Sun Jingyi saw him here, she only thought that Lin Yi was eating nearby. She wouldn't have thought that he was a student of Songjiang First High School. Get in the car. Sun Jingyi waved to Lin Yi. Lin Yi opened the door of the passenger seat and sat in. Lin Yi looked at Sun Jingyi. Compared to the elegance at the bar that day, Sun Jingyi today was more capable and steady. She wore a white-collar business suit, which made her look more dignified. Where are we going to eat? Sun Jingyi also noticed Lin Yi's gaze, but she didn't care. Instead, she was a little proud, little handsome. You like me? Why don't you help me? You're only 20 years old, Lin Yi said faintly. Do you think you can pretend to be a sister just by putting your hair up? Sun Jingyi almost exploded from Lin Yi's words. She almost got into a car accident. You. How did you know? You deliberately dressed up more mature for business. Lin Yi didn't answer directly. Lin Yi was proficient in traditional Chinese medicine. He could estimate a person's approximate age from details such as a person's face and neck, but he couldn't tell this to Sun Jingyi. Okay, little handsome, but you have to admit that I'm still older than you. Sun Jingyi didn't want to talk about the previous topic with Lin Yi. Talking to this man, she would always be at a disadvantage. Sun Jingyi had to adjust her mentality. 2 years older than me. It's not considered old. A woman 3 years older can carry a golden brick. You're not even 3 years older. Lin Yi shook his head. Your age is very awkward. You're neither too old nor too young. It happens to be in the range that I'm not interested in. Sun Jingyi's eyes widened. Isn't this guy's words too irritating? You're not interested if you're not 3 years older or 2 years older. Tell me, what do you want to help me? Sun Jingyi clenched her teeth. If she didn't really have something to do with Lin Yi, she would have kicked him out of the car. Help you? It's very simple. I've already said the conditions. It's up to you to agree. Lin Yi adjusted himself to a comfortable position. Sun Jingyi's car should rarely have men sitting in it. The gap in the front row was not big. Do you know what the other party's boss put forward? Sun Jingyi was a little dumbfounded. What conditions? It must be more difficult for you to accept than your so-called high price to invite me out of the mountain. I don't know his price. How do I know if what you give me is a high price? Asked Lin Yi. Then are you sure that you want to take half of the other party's conditions as a reward? Sun Jingyi suddenly thought of a brilliant plan. She blinked her sly eyes like a little fox. I'm sure. This is the rule set by my master. Lin Yi nodded and said seriously. Your master is also a great thief. Sun Jingyi was a little curious. What about your master? Chapter 242. Chapter 242, Missing Something. Sun Jingyi curled her lips, not believing Lin Yi's words. Lin Yi's skills were decent, that much Sun Jingyi believed. Even the heir of the Iron Fist House of Wu had fallen at Lin Yi's hands, and that was a testament to how skilled Lin Yi was. But as skilled as he was, Sun Jingyi didn't believe that Lin Yi's uncle master was the world's best thief. If he was, then Lin Yi wouldn't have been able to survive in a small city like Songshan. Wasn't he a bit too poor for that? Just how rich would the world's best thief have to be? His uncle master was a thief, but his master wasn't. What kind of weird sect was that? So Sun Jingyi took Lin Yi's words as a bluff. All right. If you're sure that you're willing to take half of the price, then I'll agree. Sun Jingyi said. But you can't go back on your word. Lin Yi frowned as he looked at the weird expression on Jingyi's face. He couldn't help but feel suspicious. Was there something wrong with this? But when he thought about it, there didn't seem to be anything wrong. Was the price the other party was offering really low? But that didn't seem possible. If the price wasn't high, why would Sun Jingyi come all the way here to look for him? Why would she offer him a high price? Lin Yi had a feeling that something was wrong here, but he couldn't quite put his finger on it. Hey, are you going to agree or not? Jingyi was starting to panic. Little handsome, you're younger than me, but you're a man. A man's words are like water that's been spilled, and a man's words are like spilled water. A gentleman's word is a promise. Ah, all right, I won't go back on my word. I'll take half of what the other party offers. Lin Yi felt a little helpless. He was indeed the one who said it. If he went back on his words, it wouldn't be right. All right, remember what you said. Sun Jingyi was a little excited. Lin Yi actually agreed. Let's go eat first. We'll talk while eating. I'll bring you to a good place. Looking at the incomparably excited Sun Jingyi, Lin Yi's heart sank. He increasingly felt that there was definitely a problem here. He didn't know what he had overlooked. However, since he couldn't figure it out, Lin Yi didn't bother thinking about it. At most, he would just waste this time. Stealing a piece of information wasn't a difficult task. Sun Jingyi's so-called good place turned out to be a food stall on the street, which made Lin Yi a little speechless. He thought that Sun Jingyi would invite him to some high-class hotel or something. Sun Jingyi parked the car in the free parking space on the side. In fact, it was on the roadside without a no parking sign. She got off the car with Lin Yi. It's this place. The authentic spicy skewers are very delicious. Lin Yi was a little speechless, but he really liked to eat this thing. Boss, give me a small basin. Sun Jingyi asked for a small basin from the boss of the spicy skewers with ease. Then, she began to pick out the skewers from the cart. She said to Lin Yi while she was picking, "What do you like to eat? Take it yourself. After eating, we'll count the number of sticks together." Lin Yi smiled and began to fill the small basin with spicy skewers with Sun Jingyi. After a while, the basin was filled with spicy skewers. The two of them found an empty table and sat down. Sun Jingyi began to add seasoning to the spicy skewers. "Take the money, take the money." As soon as Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi sat down, several burly men came over and scolded the boss of the spicy skewers. "Brother Scar, didn't you just take the money a few days ago?" When the boss of the spicy skewers saw these people, his face suddenly changed, and he ran over with a smile. "A few days ago? It was Brother Nyo's mother's birthday a few days ago. You took the money as a gift. Today's is the protection fee." One of the men with a scar in a vest said impatiently. "This." The boss's expression froze. Although he knew that this guy might be lying, he had to lower his head when he was under someone else's roof. This scar-faced man was a gangster in this area, and he specialized in collecting protection fees from the food street. "Hurry up, don't waste time. Do you want to quit? Let us brothers eat and drink here every day," the scar-faced man threatened. As he said that, he casually picked up a spicy skewer from Lin Yi's table and put it into his mouth. Then, he threw the signature on Lin Yi's table. "Hey, don't throw your food here. You'll pay for it later." Lin Yi frowned and said to the scar-faced man. The scar-faced man was stunned. He didn't expect that this customer would dare to talk to him like this. He turned his head and was about to scold him. Suddenly, he saw Sun Jingyi with Lin Yi. He suddenly widened his eyes, and a lewd smile appeared on his face. "Since that's the case, I'll treat you. Let's eat together. Brothers, bring the chairs over." After the scar-faced man finished speaking, he sat on a chair next to Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi. He looked at Sun Jingyi and said, "Sister, I'll treat you." You can eat as much as you want. Let's drink some wine. Sun Jingyi frowned slightly. She didn't expect Lin Yi to cause so much trouble. Originally, these people came to collect protection fees. After collecting, they would leave. Even if they ate a spicy skewer, the boss would know in his heart. He definitely wouldn't count the bill. However, Lin Yi's words attracted such a disaster. Did I allow you to sit here? Do I know you? When Lin Yi saw this guy flirting with Sun Jingyi, he was immediately unwilling. No matter what, Sun Jingyi was also an employer who was going to give him money. You are flirting with her in front of me? What's more, although Lin Yi didn't want to be a busybody, this matter wasn't a busybody. This scar-faced man sat here because of his words. Of course, Lin Yi wouldn't spoil him. Who the fuck are you? The scar-faced man turned his head and wanted to push Lin Yi. He had long seen that this kid was a hindrance. He was looking for a reason to make him give up his seat, and this reason came himself. Pa! The answer to the scar-faced man was a loud slap in the face. Lin Yi just beat Zhou Ruoming in the morning. He didn't enjoy it very much. With Wang Jifeng around, he couldn't beat Zhou Ruoming too seriously in public. But now he had no scruples. So, this slap made half of the scar-faced man's face like a steamed bun, and it instantly swelled up. I hate it when people scold my mother. Lin Yi didn't have a mother since he was a child, so it was a taboo for others to mention his mother. You dare to hit me? The scar-faced man looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. He could be said to be the master of this food street. Don't talk about being beaten, no one would even speak loudly. So, Lin Yi's slap stunned the scar-faced man. Get lost. Lin Yi looked at the scar-faced man with disdain. He looked down on people like the scar-faced man. Not only did he collect protection fees, but he also came out to flirt with women. Chapter 243. A strange condition. Bam, Sun Jingyi shrieked subconsciously. She'd brought Lin Yi here to discuss some serious business, but she hadn't expected to run into a bunch of hooligans. If Lin Yi was injured and had his head smashed open, who would help her steal the information? However, it was Scarface who had his head smashed open. The beer bottle had landed in Lin Yi's hands, but there was only half of it left. The other half had exploded on Scarface's head. Scarface was clearly a ruthless person. He didn't cry out even after being hit on the head by Lin Yi. Instead, it made him even more ruthless. He stood up coldly and glared at Lin Yi. Brother, what kind of gang do you hang out with? Don't you know that the North Market is under Scarface's protection? Did you come here to cause trouble? Scram. Lin Yi said the same word, but this time, he did something else. He threw the skewer that Scarface had finished eating out of the table, stabbing it into the side of his face that didn't have a scar on it. It pierced a hole through the skin of Scarface's face. Ouch! Scarface howled in pain. The nerves in his face were quite dense, and having a hole in his cheek was naturally painful. He hadn't cried out when the beer bottle hit him, but this time, he couldn't hold it in any longer. It was too painful. Scarface was a little frightened. The bamboo skewer was light, and Lin Yi had casually thrown it, and it had stabbed into his cheek. This wasn't something an ordinary person could do. Scarface was a little manly, though. He only cried out when the skewer stabbed into his cheek, but didn't cry out afterward. Gritting his teeth, he pulled the skewer out and looked at Lin Yi. Brother, I admit that I'm not as skilled as you, but you have to think of a way out. Don't push people too far. Who's your brother? I'm an orphan. Keep this up and I'll keep stabbing you. Lin Yi said casually, not even raising his head. He was looking down on Scarface. It's a small world. Let's wait and see. Scarface coldly snorted and left behind some ruthless words, "If you have the guts, then wait here for me. If you want to call someone, then hurry up. I can't wait. I still have things to do after eating. If you don't come, then I'll leave." Lin Yi wasn't provoked at all. Scarface's provocation didn't work on him. Scarface's expression changed. He waved at the remaining 3 brothers and quickly left the stall. "Brother Scarface, why don't you let us brothers go up?" one of Scarface's lackeys called Purple Hair asked. "The other party is a tough opponent. He might be a martial artist. You guys will be at a disadvantage if you go up." Scarface was not stupid. "Someone who can throw a bamboo skewer into my face is definitely not an ordinary person." When Scarface said this, Purple Hair and the others all nodded in agreement. "That's right, then what should we do? Should he just accept this loss like that?" How are we going to survive in the food street in the future? Of course we can't just let it go like that. We'll go back and get Guang Bro to help us. Scarface said. "Yes, get Guang Bro and get Guang Bro to kill him." Purple Hair said excitedly. "We'll go get Guang Bro right now." Sun Jingyi was shocked when she heard Lin Yi call himself an orphan. She didn't think that Lin Yi was an orphan. Of course, she didn't think that Lin Yi was joking. No one would joke about their background like that. Of course, this wasn't the only thing that shocked Sun Jingyi. Lin Yi's skills just now. She knew that Lin Yi was very fast. To be able to steal Wu Qintian's wallet, he had to be fast. But Lin Yi was also this fast when it came to fighting. She didn't even see how the bottle in Scarface's hand got into Lin Yi's hand before Scarface's head exploded. And that bamboo skewer could be used as a dart. What kind of person was this? She lowered her head and was about to ask Lin Yi if he knew Kung Fu when she saw that Lin Yi had already buried his head in a bowl of spicy skewers. Sun Jingyi was speechless. He had just beaten someone up. It was so bloody, and now he was eating as if nothing had happened. "Oh. Right, let's talk about the information you asked me to steal." Lin Yi slowed down after eating more than 20 spicy skewers and said to Sun Jingyi. "The other party is a trading company like us. We have similar projects, office supplies and computers," Sun Jingyi explained when she heard Lin Yi's question, "but one of our managers gave their supervisor a certain amount of rebates when negotiating with a big company. We don't know how this happened, but someone from the other company filmed it, and now they're using it to threaten our company." "Oh, is that so? Doesn't their company do things like this?" Lin Yi asked as he took out another 2 spicy skewers. "It's not a secret in the industry. If you want to get business, how can you not give the supervisor some benefits? They're doing it too, but we were filmed," Sun Jingyi said helplessly. "What's the harm in exposing it?" Lin Yi asked. "We might be punished by the related departments, and of course, we'll lose that customer. He's a big customer of our company. Every year, he buys tens of millions of RMB worth of computers and related office equipment from us. If this is exposed, not only will he lose his position as a supervisor, he might even be held accountable by the company." Sun Jingyi said, "The most important thing is, which company would dare to work with us in the future? We might be exposed for taking rebates, who would want to work with this kind of unsafe company? I'm afraid we'll have to close down. It's that serious." Lin Yi didn't know much about business, but after listening to Sun Jingyi's explanation, he understood the gist of it. Then what did the other party's company ask for? If they only wanted to attack you, as a competitor, they would have released the video already. They wouldn't have waited until you asked me to steal it. That's right. Jingyi nodded. It's not good for us to announce it, but it's not good for them either. After all, it's not like we're the only 2 trading companies in Songshan, there's a lot of them. It's not like we're the only ones in Songshan, it's not like we'll be the ones losing our customers. Tell me their conditions. Lin Yi was interested in this. Their condition is, the boss of that company wants me to be his mistress. Sun Jingyi said. Huh. Pft. Lin Yi spat out half a mouthful of spicy skewer. Ahem, what did you say? Their condition is for you to be his mistress. Chapter 244. What was he doing out here? Half of a lover. Lin Yi was speechless. There was a half of a lover. Yeah, we'll announce to the public that we're a couple, but in reality, I won't fulfill the obligations of a couple. Sun Jingyi nodded. From now on, you'll appear in front of my friends as my boyfriend. Lin Yi finally realized where he'd fallen into the trap. This trap was as big as it could get. Not only did he have to steal information for Sun Jingyi for free, he even had to pretend to be her boyfriend for free. Wasn't this too much of a deal? But he'd set the rules and payments, who could he blame? No wonder he'd felt that something was off, something was definitely off. You win. Lin Yi didn't want to go back on his words. He wasn't that shameless, and he had to keep his word. But, the boss did all this just to make you his lover? That's right, I don't know. You can ask him if you don't believe me. Everyone in the industry knows that he has feelings for me. Sun Jingyi said. Isn't that Wu Qintian chasing after you? Why don't you ask him for help? Lin Yi asked. That Wu Qintian's nickname was Iron Fist Wu, and he was very skilled in martial arts. Stealing information shouldn't be a problem. I don't want to have too much to do with him, I don't have any feelings for him. Sun Jingyi shook her head. Are you going back on your word? Nope, where's the information? I'll get it for you. Lin Yi saw that Sun Jingyi didn't want to talk about Wu Qintian, so he didn't ask. The information is at his lodging, we'll do it tonight. Sun Jingyi said. Alright, tonight it is then. Lin Yi didn't really mind. I won't take half of the lover's payment. That won't do. Sun Jingyi refused flatly, shaking her head. I've told you many times before that you're going to take half of the other party's offer. You're very sure of it, and now you're going back on your word. I can't even take it. Lin Yi smiled bitterly. No. Absolutely not. Sun Jingyi said, you help me, I pay you, it's only right and proper. All right. Lin Yi was a little helpless, but seeing that Sun Jingyi was so adamant, there was nothing he could do. After all, Lin Yi did agree to it. As the two of them were talking, they saw a group of gangsters running over. Scarface was among them. As he ran, he said to one of them, Brother Guang, it's him. It's this kid. He stopped me from collecting protection fees and even hit me. It had to be said that this Scarface's imagination was quite rich. He turned the ugly matter of him teasing Sun Jingyi into Lin Yi obstructing him from collecting protection fees and tricking his boss to come here to settle the matter. When the stall owner saw who it was, his face suddenly changed. He quickly reminded Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi, little brother, you should run quickly. Brother Scarface called his boss over. He must be here to teach you a lesson. Heh, I haven't finished eating yet. If they want to come, let them come. Lin Yi didn't care at all. He was still eating the spicy skewers slowly. AI. The owner of the spicy skewers sighed. Anyway, he had done his best. Since this person didn't listen, there was nothing he could do. He hoped that when Brother Guang came, he wouldn't implicate him. Hey, they have a lot of people. Do you have the confidence to settle it? Although Sun Jingyi felt that Lin Yi's skills were very good, after all, 2 fists couldn't fight 4 hands. With so many people coming to find trouble, could Lin Yi solve it? Are there a lot of people? Lin Yi put down the bamboo skewer in his hand. When he looked up, he was delighted. It was actually an acquaintance. And this acquaintance was clamoring at the moment. Who dares to cause trouble in the North District? Do you have no respect for my brother Guang's reputation? Scarface's boss walked over arrogantly and shouted into the spicy skewers stall. Heh, we meet again. Lin Yi smiled faintly and looked at Brother Guang. People say that it takes 100 days to recover from a serious injury. Instead of lying down at home, you ran out here to become a cripple. When Brother Guang saw Lin Yi, his face suddenly changed. This Brother Guang was naturally the head of the North District's gangsters, Zhou Ruoguang. He never thought that he would meet the person he met in the hospital a few days ago here again. In the hospital, Lin Yi's ruthlessness was still fresh in Zhou Ruoguang's memory. This kid was simply a violent maniac. When he abused people, he didn't even blink. He treated his wrist as a toy, pulling and pulling it several times. At that moment, Zhou Ruoguang's face was very ugly. Although he had a lot of underlings, he didn't dare to touch Lin Yi. He was actually very timid. He was afraid that once his underlings weren't a match for Lin Yi, his ending today would definitely be worse than the previous 2 days. Last time, he broke his wrist. This time, he might break his leg. Ha! It's this brother. Zhou Ruoguang laughed. He didn't dare to provoke Lin Yi for the time being, but he didn't want to lose face either. He could only pretend to be familiar with Lin Yi. It's really a case of water rushing against the temple of the Dragon King. Family doesn't recognize family anymore. Scar, this brother definitely wouldn't stop you from collecting protection fees for no reason. Tell me the truth. What's going on? Actually, how could Zhou Ruoguang not know that Scarface was using this as a pretext? Scarface's underlings wouldn't be so loyal to Scarface. Zhou Ruoguang had heard about what happened before. As for why he still stood up for Scarface after knowing the situation, it was because Scarface was his underling. When his underling was bullied, he naturally had to stand up for him as the big brother. On the other hand, it was also because he was taught a lesson by Lin Yi over the weekend and didn't dare to fight back. His heart was depressed, so he wanted to teach others a lesson to vent his anger. In the end, he met Lin Yi here. Zhou Ruoguang secretly cursed his bad luck. Scarface was stunned. He didn't expect his boss to change his attitude the moment he came. He immediately realized that things weren't simple. He was the boss of the market nearby, so he naturally wasn't stupid. Brother Guang came to stand up for him, but his attitude towards Lin Yi was very good. This gave Scarface a bad feeling. Could it be that this person was really a ruthless person? Even the boss had to be respectful to him. I'm sorry, Brother Guang. I caused trouble. I just said a few words to this, big brother's woman. Scarface didn't quibble. He knew that Brother Guang was going to punish him at this time. Pa! Zhou Ruoguang slapped him. Who asked you to be so cocky? Apologize now. I'm sorry. Scarface quickly apologized to Lin Yi and Sun Jingyi. Alright, stop acting. I don't have time to watch you act. Lin Yi waved his hand impatiently. Boss, Bill. Chapter 245. Chapter 245, You have too many troubles, do I look like someone like him? Lin Yi pointed at Scarface, a little annoyed. He'd always had to pay for his meals even if he didn't have to pay for them. He'd never dashed before. Of course not, bro. The owner's face froze. He hadn't expected his flattery to backfire. The guy didn't lack money at all, so he didn't have to pay. Alright, I'll calculate how much it is. The owner didn't bother counting and just weighed the skewers on the table. There were about 100 of them. Let's make it 100, and I'll take 50 instead. Pay up. Lin Yi looked at Sun Jingyi. Sun Jingyi was a little taken aback. She'd thought that Lin Yi was going to treat them, but in the end, he was asking her to pay. The owner didn't know whether to laugh or cry. So you're not the one paying. Then why are you asking your friend to spend more? Isn't this free of charge good enough? Sun Jingyi took out her wallet and handed a 50 kwai bill to the owner. She glared at Lin Yi before leaving the food stall with him. Scarface secretly cursed. This gigolo came out to be pretentious and spend a woman's money. He was really something. However, he only thought about it in his heart. How could he dare to offend someone that even his boss, Zhou Ruoguang, didn't dare to offend? After Lin Yi left, Zhou Ruoguang looked at Scarface with a dark expression. It's all your fault. Damn it, I almost ended up in the hospital again. What's wrong? Scarface started. Not only did his brother not dare offend Lin Yi, he was actually scared of Lin Yi. Guang bro, is that kid strong? Strong? Look at how my hands were broken. Zhou Ruoguang shook his two hands wrapped in gauze. He broke them. Do you think you can afford to piss off a lunatic like that? He's ridiculously strong, and no matter how many people there are, there's still no match for him. Ah. So powerful. Scarface was stunned. Could this be the legendary martial arts master? Hurry up and go back. Don't embarrass yourself here. Zhou Ruoguang was a little annoyed. Look carefully next time. Don't provoke such a tough guy. Yes, brother Guang. Scarface was also very depressed. How would I know that this kid was so powerful? If I had known earlier, why would I have provoked him? Am I not sick? Sigh, what a femme fatale. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have flirted with Sun Jingyi, and I wouldn't have gotten myself into so much trouble. After getting in the car, Sun Jingyi glared at Lin Yi with some reproach. You didn't pay the bill, and the boss waived the bill. Are you still unwilling? Those peddlers don't make much money. Lin Yi said, $50 is more or less the cost. Sun Jingyi paused. She didn't think that much before, but now that she heard Lin Yi's words, it was true. If they had money, why would they work in a food stall under the hot sun? This made Sun Jingyi see Lin Yi in a new light. In actuality, Lin Yi only thought of Tang Yun's family and didn't want to take advantage of the spicy skewer owner. As for whether or not Scarface would continue to collect protection fees from him, that wasn't something Lin Yi could control. Everyone had their own lives, and Lin Yi couldn't just stick his nose into it. Where are you going, honey? Sun Jingyi backed out of the car and looked at Lin Yi gently. Honey? Lin Yi paused. Who are you talking to? I'm talking to you. You are my lover now. Although it's only half, I can still call you that. Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi with a smile that wasn't a smile. Why? Is it embarrassing for you to be in a relationship with a younger brother? Lin Yi was speechless. This girl seemed to be quite open-minded, but it didn't seem to be the case. Otherwise, she wouldn't have rejected the company's boss. However, why did she look for him? Did she think that he was easy to bully? Or did she think that he wouldn't do anything to her? Let me tell you, you are playing with fire here. What if one day, I become real? Lin Yi warned Sun Jingyi. Okay, sister also wants to see if we can develop feelings after a long time. Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi with a smile. It seemed that she didn't take Lin Yi's words seriously at all. Send me to the previous place. Lin Yi rolled his eyes and ignored her. Songshan First High School. Sun Jingyi was a bit strange. Why are you still going to the previous place? Why are you asking so much? Lin Yi frowned. Do you not want me to help you tonight? Tisk, I'm already your lover. You have already received the payment. If you don't want to help me, then don't help me. Sun Jingyi shrugged indifferently. Pick me up there at night. After this, we don't owe each other anymore. Lin Yi didn't want to have too much to do with Sun Jingyi. Although this woman was beautiful and had the kind of mature temperament that Tang Yun, Meng Yao, and Yushu didn't have, Lin Yi's intuition told him that this woman was very troublesome. If he got involved with her, he would definitely be in trouble in the future. Today, she made him become a great thief. Tomorrow, would he kill people and rob them? Thinking about it, it was very possible. From that Wu Qintian, he could infer that Sun Jingyi's family was definitely not simple. Otherwise, she wouldn't be friends with the Iron Fist Wu family. Although he didn't know why Sun Jingyi didn't use the power of her family to solve the problem in front of her, but this kind of trouble caused by a princess of a noble family was definitely troublesome. Lin Yi didn't want to solve her problems professionally. Hey, how can you be like this? Don't want to take responsibility? Sun Jingyi listened to Lin Yi and looked at Lin Yi with a hidden bitterness in her eyes. Lover, not wife yet, so you can break up at any time. Lin Yi said faintly, I'm telling you now, you are dumped by me. In the future, you won't be. Sun Jingyi looked at Lin Yi in disbelief. She was a great beauty. She was in front of him, and he wasn't moved. At least there was a line of people chasing after her. Even if she didn't really become his lover, a fake lover could satisfy his vanity. With a beauty by his side, he would always be envied by others. Are you really not interested in my sister? Sun Jingyi couldn't help but ask. Yes, Lin Yi said straightforwardly. Ah. Sun Jingyi thought that Lin Yi would definitely say no, but she didn't expect Lin Yi to say yes. This surprised her a little, and she was a little confused. Then why are you still dumping me? Chapter 246. Chapter 246, the perfect candidate. This Sun Jingyi, on the other hand, seemed to be even more troublesome than Ling Shan. At the very least, Ling Shan was more straightforward, while Sun Jingyi was too much of a liar. Sun Jingyi exploded at Lin Yi's words. There were so many people lining up to help her out, like Wu Qintian, who she'd ignored before coming to Lin Yi, and now he was calling her troublesome. Fine, I don't care. I'll come to you if I need anything in the future. Sun Jingyi said shamelessly. Lin Yi didn't say anything else. Go find him if you want to, it'd depend on my mood whether I came or not. He told Sun Jingyi to drop him off at the food street behind the school, and waited for Sun Jingyi's car to leave before Lin Yi turned back to school. Pin Liang, accompanied by his lawyer, met Heibao Bro at the designated hospital in Songshan's detention center. Heibao Bro. Pin Liang couldn't help but be shocked when he saw the bandages all over Heibao Bro's body. Heibao smiled bitterly, not expecting to be crippled as a golden class late phase peak. His meridians were all severed, and he was lying on a hospital bed in a state worse than death. Heibao wasn't in the detention center right now, so there were no police officers in the room other than the lawyer. Fabai could handle things like this, and it wasn't hard for him to meet Heibao alone. Master Zhong, you're here. Heibao looked at Pin Liang, a trace of sadness on his face. I underestimated my enemy. I didn't expect that Lin Yi to be this strong. He's the same as me, a golden class late phase peak. What? He's a golden class late phase peak. Fabai paused, looking at Heibao in disbelief. Heibao, are you telling the truth? Boss, why would I lie to you about something like this? Heibao smiled bitterly. So, boss, young Master Zhong, I advise you not to touch Lin Yi before you have absolute certainty. You are not his match. Although Heibao's words weren't very pleasant, they were still harsh to the ear. Fabai and Pin Liang understood this principle. They were no match for Lin Yi. On the other hand, Fabai didn't care much. Lin Yi didn't have much of a relationship with him, so he didn't care if he attacked Lin Yi or not. Pingliang's expression, however, changed drastically. He saw Lin Yi as an opponent that he had to eliminate in this life. Although Zhou Ruoming was the one who had humiliated him that night, it was Lin Yi who had caused it. Pingliang clenched his fists at the memory. "Hey Bao bro, you have no idea how much humiliation I went through that day, it wasn't any worse than yours." "Ha! Master Zhong, do you really want to get rid of Lin Yi?" Hey Bao bro smiled suddenly, looking at Pingliang strangely. "Of course I do. Hey Bao bro, do you have any good ideas?" Pingliang knew that Hey Bao bro had a plan when he saw his smile. "Yes, but..." Hey Bao bro looked at the people in the room, hesitating. "You can leave first." Zhong Fabai waved his hand at the lawyer. The lawyer was the only outsider here. Although he had always been working for Zhong Fabai, what He Bao wanted to say must be extremely secretive, so the fewer people who knew, the better. "Yes, boss." The lawyer, naturally, didn't say much. He worked for Fabai, and he knew very well that he didn't listen to things he shouldn't hear, and he didn't ask about things he shouldn't know. After the lawyer left the room, He Bao's face turned serious. "Master Zhong, the only way to get revenge on Lin Yi is to increase your strength. Increase your strength beyond the peak of the late phase of the golden class. That's the only way to kill him. Otherwise, golden class late phase peak isn't something that can be taken down by a group of people. If a group of normal gangsters were to gang up on him, they would just be asking for death." "Increase my strength?" Pingliang blinked. "Hey Bao bro, you're saying that I can increase my strength to the peak late phase golden class, or even higher?" "That's right." Hey Bao nodded. "But if you gain something, you have to lose something. Once you practice our sex arts, you can't touch women anymore, or you'll lose your life." "Ah. I can't touch women anymore." Pingliang paused. "Fuck, I'm killing Lin Yi because he's a stumbling block in my pursuit of Meng Yao. What's the point of killing Lin Yi if I can't even touch a woman?" Pingliang thought. "Yes." He Bao said. "Back then, I couldn't stand the ascetic life of training, and that's why I ran away from my sect. I didn't make much of a difference, and what I brought out was just a short-term art to increase a person's strength, allowing a normal person to quickly reach the late phase golden class. I, on the other hand, had some martial arts foundation, so I reached the peak late phase golden class. If you're already a peak late phase golden class, you can use this art to get to the early phase or even the mid phase. This art can only be used under special circumstances, and it only lasts for a month or two. After that, you'll drop back to your previous strength, and lose 5 years of your lifespan. It's useless unless it's a critical moment. Master Zhong, even if you reach the peak late phase golden class like me, you still won't be able to kill Lin Yi." "Ah. But you want me to not touch women?" Pingliang felt that if he couldn't touch women, what was the point of his life? After practicing the art that He Bao bro told him about, killing Lin Yi would be easy, but his life would be in danger. Wasn't that too dangerous? "Master Zhong, that's all I have to say. I've received a huge favor from my boss back then, so I'm telling you this before I go to jail. I can't interfere with your decision." He Bao said. "If you've thought it through, go to Spring Star Mountain. Tell him that I, He Bao, introduced him to my big senior brother, who's now the sect master. I'm just an abandoned disciple, but he'll give me face." Spring Star Mountain. What kind of mountain is that? Pingliang paused. Geography wasn't his forte, but he'd never heard of this mountain, let alone any sects on it. "I'll draw a detailed map for you," He Bao said. "Of course, if you have someone you can trust, you can ask him to go in your place. When he returns, he'll be able to help you kill Lin Yi and avenge me. I'm only saying this because I hope that you can avenge me, Master Zhong." "Someone I can trust?" Pin Liang frowned as he thought of someone. That's right, he could ask him to go. Pin Liang suddenly thought of Zhang Naipeo. Chapter 247. Learning in the mountains. Pin Liang raised his head to look at Fabai, and their eyes met. Fabai seemed to have thought of someone as well. Pin Liang, you want Zhang Naipeo to go? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I've decided to go talk to him. Pin Liang didn't hide it. Naipeo's been with me for years, and I know him. We helped his family get through this, so it shouldn't be a problem if I let him go. Alright, go talk to him then. Fabai was moved as well. If his son could have a master at the peak of the late phase of the golden class, then the Zhong family wouldn't have to rely on the Jin family to survive in Songshan City. He wouldn't have to be restricted by his brother-in-law. At that time, the Zhong family would have a master, and they would have the right to speak in the upper class. Zhong Fabai suddenly had expectations. Thinking of this, Fabai thought that his son had done a smart thing, which was to win over the hearts of his subordinates and cultivate an absolute confidant. If Heibao was Fabai's confidant, then Zhang Naipeo was Pin Liang's confidant. Heibao wouldn't have been able to share so many secrets with him if he wasn't his confidant. After getting the map of Spring Star Mountain, Fabai sent Pin Liang back to school, leaving the lawyer to figure out how to lighten Heibao's punishment. Heibao had injured a police officer, and then escaped. His punishment wouldn't be light either. Pin Liang had a depressed look on his face on the way to Heibao Bro, but his face was filled with joy and excitement on the way back to school. As long as he followed Heibao Bro's advice, Naipeo would be able to learn martial arts in the mountains, and he wouldn't have to be afraid of Lin Yi anymore. He'd be able to kill Lin Yi in one hit. Haha, what a great feeling that would be. Just thinking about it made him excited. Helping Naipeo's family was the best thing he'd ever done. Pin Liang didn't want to help Naipeo, he was afraid that he wouldn't get anything out of it. But now, it was all worth it. Pin Liang called Naipeo outside the classroom as soon as he got back to school. Naipeo, come with me, I need to talk to you. Liang bro. Naipeo was getting more and more respectful towards Pin Liang these days. Not only did Pin Liang give his family 700,000, but he'd also give his father another 300,000 to restart his business. Naipeo was very grateful. His family would have been done for him if it weren't for Pin Liang. His father would have been forced to commit suicide, and his brother would have been forced to sell his kidney. How would he and his mother survive? Pin Liang, on the other hand, had helped them change everything, and so Naipeo thanked his boss from the bottom of his heart. He felt like he hadn't followed Pin Liang for nothing. He quickly followed Pin Liang out of the classroom. Liang bro, what's up? Pow, Naipeo, Pin Liang said. Pow pow. Pin Liang Naipeo Pin Liang Liang. Poff of paw pow with, Pin Liang said. Pow Pin Liang the first class, the afternoon, at. Of, Pin Liang, go of the yun of lin of in, Pin. Pento the school ching. Pin Liang frowned when he saw that someone was there, but Naipeo understood immediately. Clear the place, clear the place. Everyone get out, Liang bro needs to use the washroom. These people were gangsters in the school, but they were a far cry from the Big Four. Pin Liang might have been beaten up a couple of times by Lin Yi, and wasn't as popular as he used to be, but these gangsters still didn't dare mess with him. They all smiled and backed out of the washroom when they saw Pin Liang. Liang bro, is there something you need to talk to me about? Naipeo wasn't an idiot. Pin Liang wouldn't ask him to go to the washroom with him for no reason. Pow, you've been with me for a long time, there's something I need your opinion on. Pin Liang said after some hesitation. What's the matter, Liang bro? Just say it, why do you need my opinion? Your opinion is my opinion. Naipeo said straightforwardly. All right. Pin Liang nodded as he took out a pack of cigarettes, giving one to Naipeo before putting one in his mouth. I didn't make you my brother for nothing, but I still need to talk to you about this. It's a big deal, after all. Go ahead, Liang bro. Naipeo took out his lighter and lit up the cigarette for Pin Liang before lighting his own. Pow, here's a chance for you to become a Wuli master. Are you willing? Pin Liang said in a low voice. Become a Wuli master. Naipeo blinked. You're not joking, are you, Liang bro? Do I look like I'm joking? Pin Liang said. Pow, you know Hebao bro, right? You saw the news about him escaping from the police, right? His strength increased all of a sudden, and he was able to escape even when surrounded by the police. Do you know why? Could it be that Hebao bro is a Wuli master? Naipeo said subconsciously. That's right. There's a secret art in his sect that can increase strength quickly, but it's flawed. There's a time limit, and you'd have to pay the price of your lifespan. It's not very good. Pin Liang said. Liang bro, you're asking me to learn this secret art. Naipeo misunderstood Pin Liang's word, he thought that he was asking him to learn the art. It's just a few years of lifespan, no problem. Liang bro, if it weren't for you, my dad and brother would have been done for, and I wouldn't even be able to live. Pow, you misunderstand. I'm not asking you to learn this flawed art. I'm asking you to go up the mountain and learn martial arts. Join Hebao bro's sect and become a true Wuli master. Pin Liang said with a wave of his hand. But it'll be a tough process, according to Hebao bro, it'll be like a monk, and you won't be able to get close to women. If you're willing, Hebao bro can introduce you to him. Learn martial arts. Naipeo didn't quite understand, but he agreed without hesitation. Liang bro, if you want me to learn martial arts, then I'll do it. What's so great about being an ascetic? The only thing I, Zhang Naipeo, want in this life is to repay the kindness you've done for my family, Liang bro. As long as you give me that chance, I'll die even if you want me to, let alone be an ascetic. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.